Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live. This almost did not happen today. My energy got zapped. So, but I'm here. We'll give a minute to see who jumps on. And I didn't realize when I was planning this that this is the 4-4 portal. And because it's the year 2024, so 2 plus 0 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 is a 4. And then 4. And then 4 plus 4 is 8. So 444 portal, 444. And also my granddaughter's birthday. So happy birthday to Afton. My sweetest little angel. Hello. Okay, so if you're in, I'm pretty sure you might have to be streaming on YouTube to be able to comment. Let's see. Hi, Maggie. Hello, hello. How are you today? The energy was super intense. I woke up probably around 4 or 5 and was wide awake and couldn't sleep and got up really early and got my day started without realizing that it was the 4-4 portal. Oh, yes, it's her little birthday, my little granddaughter. She's the sweetest ever. So I didn't realize it was the 4-4 portal. And then took her to breakfast and then came home completely zapped. Hi, Mariah. How are you? Yesterday, the energy was super, super high. Today, I'm feeling really, really low. But I went and took a nap, tried to regain my energy before I came on tonight because I didn't want to ditch you guys. Hi, Kristen. Hello. Hi, Carrie. So yeah, I know the energy is like really, really intense. And, in addition to approaching the solar eclipse on Monday, we've got all of this solar activity happening, which I actually think is a lot more important. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I speaking too loud with this microphone? I never know if I'm like yelling into the microphone or if it's just the right amount. But I do think that the solar eclipse is being hijacked, so to speak, to become like an energy harvesting type thing. And I think that the real thing that we should all be focusing on is the solar activity, which I view as upgrades, as the more light that we receive, the more information, the more humanity will be ascending, right? Oh, thank you. These earrings my friend Megan got me. These are tarot cards. I can't remember which ones these are. Let's see. The High Priestess. These are the High Priestess. Aren't they cool? They're made out of clay. So anyways, I wanted to start out by, hi, Sherry. Hello, hello. Asking you guys, what are some of the crazy things that you're hearing about this eclipse? What is your overall feeling about it? Because I feel like, for sure that you should trust your intuition. And I will say that back in 2017, during the Great American Eclipse of 2017, which did pass over my state. So I live in Utah, and in 2017, we were able to be in the path of totality. And I was going to have this big eclipse party, and I had everything planned, and I went and bought all the eclipse glasses. And then like 2 or 3 days before, I was guided to not work with that energy. I'm feeling a little bit different this time, but that could be because I'm not anywhere near the path of totality. So I wanted to first ask, who here just happens to be living somewhere that you're going to be able to see a good portion of that? I'm pretty sure Sherry is. Maybe Kristen. I think Kristen actually will get to see more of it. And then also I heard, and I don't know if it was like an April Fool's thing, but I heard that they came out and changed the path and they changed the times that it's going to be happening. You are in the path. So in 2017, I started to do some research, and a lot of the indigenous cultures did not work with eclipse energy, and they've seen them as like not a great omen. So I did kind of use that as like my decision into deciding to not work with it. But I don't think anything, including a solar eclipse, could be inherently good or bad, right? And I think that depending on where we're all at on our journeys, I think that the energy is going to affect us differently. So I would ask that none of you are influenced, not even by me. Trust your intuition. listen to the guidance that you're getting. And sometimes in order to get that guidance, you need to ask. You need to ask your spirit team, hey, is this eclipse window, is this eclipse portal something that I should be working with? And if you are somebody, which it looks like most of you in here are people that work with your own divination tools, definitely get them out. We're going to be doing some readings, but I do want to start. I was going to burn I have some different planetary incense, and I was going to burn the incense for the sun, but I couldn't find my little charcoal discs. So I've just got one little piece of sage here. And I know you guys technically can't smell it, but there is no such thing as time and space. We're all connected. And so I just want to ask that everybody here, and even people that are going to watch the playback, your energy is still going to be influencing here. So I just want to ask everybody to just take one moment to ground your energy into this reading, into this moment, and just kind of clear some of the chatter, clear some of the noise, let go of any of the stress of the day, let go of any expectations for, the reading, whatever you've heard. It's really hard to not be influenced in the day and age of social media, right? But try to just let go of any of the noise that you have heard around this eclipse. And we ask that. I've already called in personally my spirit team, but I just want to again reiterate that I am only open to channeling those guides of the highest vibration of love and light for humanity, for the collective humanity on this planet at this time, asking that we be guided to whatever information we need to know about this date, which is Monday, April 8th, 2024. We're doing collective readings, and then for the individuals, whatever they need to know to best work or not work, to maybe sit this one out. And so it is. Okay, so now we're kind of a little bit grounded. Let's move this out of the way. So I was kind of going through, when you have such a large collection of decks, it's always hard to decide what you're going to work with. So I went through and kind of intuitively chose some decks. And then I grabbed my pendulum, which I can't find right now. I grabbed my pendulum and went over the top and asked which ones we're going to work with. Hi, Mariel. Aries, sun and moon. Your birthday is actually April 8th. Oh, wow. Happy birthday. My husband's birthday is Sunday, the 7th. You've been guided to stay home and chill. Are you in the path of totality, Mariel? Yeah, everybody listen, and you may think that you know today what you're going to do. I just ask you to be open to that might change on the day of the eclipse, right? Hi, Bianca. Honestly, I think you slipped into a few different realms while sleeping. Well, and again, we have all this solar activity. So honestly, I think that's the bigger deal that I want people paying attention to. If you're not already paying attention to the solar activity, to the Schumann resonance, if you guys I wonder if I can try to find a picture of what the Schumann resonance was doing like 2 days ago. It was insane, you guys, insane. But I do have the chart for the eclipse pulled up, which I'm going to share right now. So let me hit that real quick. Okay, and so for anybody that is maybe new here on my lives, I actually practice what's called true sidereal astrology. So I'm not saying that Muriel's wrong per se, but the sun is not going to be, the sun or the moon is not going to be in Aries on Monday. They're going to both still be in Pisces. So when people are talking about it being an eclipse in Aries, that's a seasonal system. Western tropical astrology is a seasonal system based upon where the sun and the moon would have been 2,000 years ago. I'm not going to get into whatever is right or wrong. I don't think there is a right or wrong. I've practiced both. I think there's value in both. But if you're going to be working with the energies of a new moon or an eclipse, I feel as though it makes sense to work with the energies that are current, not from 2,000 years ago. Okay. So if you take any type of astronomy up, and maybe that's also what we should pull up is Stellarium. but I encourage you to download. There's probably other apps, but one that I know is free is Stellarium. And on the day of the eclipse, point it at the sun and look and see for yourself what constellation it will be. Very much in Pisces. And I'm going to sound like a broken record because I've got a lot of my subscribers in here. So they've done a lot of work with me and they've all had their true sidereal charts read. But Pisces takes up a bigger portion of the ecliptic than the other signs. So if you see here on the wheel, look at how small the constellations of Aries and Scorpio and Libra are compared to Pisces and compared to Virgo. So it takes the sun and the other planets much longer to move through those signs. So we're still in the sign of Pisces for at least another week, I think. So, but regardless of what system you want to look at, the thing to note is that a solar eclipse always happens during a new moon. So lunar eclipses are always going to happen on a full moon, and solar eclipses always happen on a new moon. And a new moon is when the sun and the moon are conjunct in the same sign. So if you want to look at the seasonal system, yes, they're going to tell you it's Aries, but if you look and see where the sun and the moon are actually at in the sky on Monday, April 8th, it's going to be in Pisces. But look how many planets are stacked. So again, it doesn't really matter which system you're looking at. We've got Mercury, Moon, Sun, and Chiron. The big player here is Chiron because Chiron is the wounded healer. Okay. And when planets are conjunct, they're working together. So we've got Mercury, communication. We've got Moon, the divine feminine, and our feelings and our emotions. We've got the Sun, the divine masculine. We've got Chiron, the wounded healer, and the North Node. Okay. The North Node, which is where we're supposed to be going as a collective. Okay. And then Venus, which is our values. So all of that is stacked together. So regardless of what system we're looking at, whether that's in Aries or Pisces, it's very intense energy. Okay. So, but the difference between Aries and Pisces, I mean, for one, Aries being very fiery, very masculine, and Pisces being very, dreamlike. Water is considered to be feminine and fire is considered to be masculine. So I would ask you to just sit with the energy and just see what it feels like, right? Again, don't listen to me. Don't listen to what everyone else is telling you. Sit with the energy and see what it feels like. Now, I have a teacher. Hi, Queenie. I have a teacher named Isaac who I have been studying the true sidereal astrology system through. He is an astronomer and he's a photographer. He takes pictures of the sky with his like really super powerful telescope. And he did a live the other night, was talking about how basically during the eclipse, it cancels out the other planetary energies. So it's a really good time to not be influenced at all by any of that. And I think that there's something powerful about that, to think about what it would be like to remove all these influences. So again, whether it's in Pisces or whether it's in Aries, and just sitting with your own essence and deciding what that is. And typically a new moon is a time that we're wanting to start new, fresh cycles, right? Hi, Robin. How are you? You've been saying all week it still feels like Pisces. See, Mariel, I'm not trying to convince anybody at all. I just want you to be open to the information. And I want you to also ask yourself, why is it? I believe that for one, we used to be on a 13-month calendar and there's 13 signs. So this system that I'm working with also includes the 13th sign of Ophiuchus. You can see it right here by Scorpio, which we don't have any planets in Ophiuchus right now anyways, but I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming to hang out. So again, there's lots of opinions, but sit with the energy and see what it feels like to you. It's been super emotional. I agree that it's felt super Pisces season for sure. But okay, so I'm getting sidetracked. So Mercury, communication, Moon, feelings, Sun. The Sun is also like it's part of our mission, but it's really this Chiron. So for anybody, if you really want to decide what this is going to be like for you, yes, you want to look and see. If you're going to look at your Western tropical chart, look and see if you have any Aries placements. Like Mariel said, her birthday's Monday, so it's her solar return. So for sure, Mariel, you should be focusing on what in my opinion, solar returns are basically like your own personal new year. So that's a great time. And regardless if we want to argue if it's still Pisces or if it's already Aries, we're very close to Aries, which is the new year. Okay. April 1st is the new year. Aries season is the new year. So it is a good time to be planting seeds of what you want to create for the rest of 2024, right? So Mars and Venus in Aries. So Mars is what you want to, what you would fight for. I call it the fucking and fighting energy because it's your sexual passion. It's also what you'll fight for. And then Venus also what you value, right? Because Venus co-rules Taurus and Libra. Libra is the relationship part that we value, and then Taurus being more of like the financial stuff that we value. So for Bianca, that's going to be a good time for you to look at what you're willing to fight for and what you value. For Mariel, as her birthday, as her solar return, definitely, you know, setting goals for the next year. Carrie, been so exhausted for 2 days, no reason. Just I was like, couldn't sleep, so energized yesterday, and then today I got knocked on my ass again. That's I mean, I'm not saying the eclipse energy isn't doing anything because it is, but if you know anything about the Schumann resonance and these solar flares that we're having, we're in a solar maximum. It can make you feel like you're starving, or it can make you not eat. It can make you wired so you can't sleep, or it can make you dead tired where all you can do is sleep. It can cause your blood pressure to rise, heart palpitations, anxiety. So you may be a person that thinks that you do a lot of grounding, but I promise you during this time, there's not enough grounding. You need to be going outside. You need to be putting your feet in. Now, my general channeled guidance that doesn't have anything to do with the cards, which we're going to get into, is that everybody should be spending as much time outside as possible, increasing your melanin. Your melanin is a hormone that is secreted by your brain when you're outside in the sun. And actually, I know people like Mariah are probably going to know this, but if you go outside in the sun, especially for the first 15 minutes, and you wear sunglasses, then your brain does not tell your body to create the melanin to protect itself, which is why you get sunburn and which is why you get sun cancer. If you would just take the sunglasses off and let your eyes be exposed to the sun and let the sun and your brain communicate the way that they're supposed to, your brain is going to tell your body to create more melanin to protect itself. That way you don't get sunburn. So think about a plant, think about photosynthesis. All a plant needs to live is solar energy and water. Solar energy is so powerful, and I do really believe that we are at the time where the solar energy is upgrading us, but upgrades and change is painful, and it's challenging, and it's energetically draining, right? I think I want to literally plant seeds and work your. That would be perfection. That would actually, I don't know. I would look at a farmer's almanac, or I would Google. In fact, I actually just put the farmer's almanac in my Amazon cart. I feel like we're too disconnected. Finding out all about this astrology. And the thing is, when I started learning Western tropical astrology, I knew there was a system called sidereal, and also some people call it Vedic. I knew there were other systems, and I knew that in those systems I would be a Sagittarius, but nobody ever told me that the reason why is because the planets were actually in those constellations. They just kind of blew past it. Our ancestors, astronomy and astrology were the same thing. And they had these farmers almanacs, and you would not believe how much like metaphysical woo-woo information is in the farmer's almanac. So they do have a Kindle version, but I wanted the hardback. But I would look up, what did the farmer's almanac historically say about planting seeds on the eclipse? Because I would almost bet it's probably not. Although I think new moon is the time that you plant seeds, and full moon is when you harvest. So that might, I could be wrong. That's what I'm saying. I would look it up. Let's Google real quick. Let's see. What does the Farmer's Almanac say about planting seeds during a solar eclipse? There isn't really anything about the eclipse. It's just about the moon phases. But That link you shared gives what? Hi, Kristen. The link that you shared gives what, Share? So, interestingly enough, I'm sorry, I missed something from Mariah. You've been spending too much time in the sun. So healing. Oh, the info on the almanac. Okay, thank you. I don't see a link though. Does everybody else see it? So, okay, I know I get sidetracked all the time. So, look up in your Western tropical chart, you're going to see if you have any Aries placements and then see what house Aries is in. That's the house that the eclipse is going to is going to affect you in. And look to see where your Chiron is because this is all conjunct Sun, Moon, Mercury and Chiron. Look to see because this is going to be triggering Chiron wounded healer. So it's going to be triggering those old wounds. And I know for sure for me it has been. My Chiron's in the first house, so that's going to affect who I am, how I see myself. Yeah, I don't know if it lets you share links, but I do appreciate you trying. So, that's going to be important for you guys to know. If you're going to work with the eclipse at all, you might as well look and see what house is your Chiron in. That's going to tell you that. And then, do you have any Aries placements? If you are somebody that has your true sidereal chart by me or by somebody else, then you're obviously going to look at Pisces, right? And then on top of that, Mercury retrograde. And hello, hi, honeys. To me, I think Mercury retrograde is always about, just like old stories about yourself. What old stories are coming up that maybe need to clear about wounds that may be yours, that may be ancestral. Those are kind of the themes here. But if it's Pisces, it's going to be, which again, that's where the sun and moon are. It's not really a question, right? But you don't have to swallow that pill right now. If you don't want to, you can work with the Western tropical that says it's all in Aries, even though it's not. But they're very different energies. So, okay, but I want to get into some cards, but here's where I want to be careful. It's hard because I've been like a diehard conspiracy theorist for my entire life. I remember the first kind of like fear-mongering conspiracy theory rabbit hole I went down was Y2K. And I remember that my oldest daughter was like 3 months old. I had her in October of 99, and Y2K, we were all being told that the computers were going to stop and everything was going to go offline. And basically it was going to be apocalyptic. I was hoarding water and food because I didn't want to have a newborn baby and be screwed over, right? Kristen, in Western, your Scorpio sun, Aries moon, and Aquarius rising. Sidereal, your Scorpio sun, Pisces moon, and Capricorn. Very cool. Here's the difference, though, Kristen. In true sidereal, you can see this is the only system that includes Ophiuchus, which is the 13th sign that they intentionally left out because it's very powerful. And then it also uses the actual sizes of the constellations. You can see how much bigger Pisces and Virgo are. So you may be different in true sidereal. In tropical year, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. Oh, wow. Very, very, very Aquarian. And I still think we have those qualities. The Western tropical is, I feel like, the matrix and like the archetypes that they want us to be. And I feel like the true sidereal is our highest potential. It's who we're really meant to become, kind of like the North Node. The North Node in astrology is what we're here to become. True sidereal, you're Capricorn, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Represent. So I went from Capricorn to Sagittarius, and I have my Western tropicals all tattooed on here. Aries rising, Leo moon, Capricorn sun. Again, that was who I was for 44 years of my life, right? I don't think that it's not a thing. It is. It's just, I think it's a trap. I think that's how they trap us into it. Just like you could say, if you were never told that you had a birthday and you did not put your energy or your focus towards a birthday every year, would you age? If you had not been told that you age, if none of us as humanity were ever told that we age and we didn't have these birthdays every year, we probably wouldn't age. Our brains are so powerful that when we believe something, we manifest it to be true, right? So actually by me breaking out of the Western tropical system, I'm actually less attached to any of these archetypes, including the true sidereal, because it reminds you that you are whatever that you believe you are. And to tie that into the eclipse, we as a collective, if we focus on the fear mongering, which again, I'm not saying that none of that stuff could be happening, and maybe there's timelines where that stuff's going to be happening. Today, the newest one that I seen is that there was some intelligence leak that said that they're going to be spraying some bio weapon over the tops of people as they're like out there looking. If we feed into those things with the rockets, the CERN, and the all of the stuff that you guys have probably heard, drop a conspiracy about the eclipse that you've heard in the comments. I would love to see if there's any that I haven't heard yet. But I know that as a collective, we are more powerful than that. So the absolute last thing that we should ever do is to go into fear. But it's hard because part of waking up and breaking out of this system is that we have to know the truth and we have to see what's really going on. But then it can be very easy to get stuck there. And then we basically end up working for them by manifesting it. We're the projectors, we're the master manifestors. None of this stuff, they couldn't pull any of this stuff off without our collective belief, right? Good. Sometimes it's good to just not pay attention, but I feel like if you never look at it, you also can't. Ignorance is bliss on one hand. I don't believe you can fully break out of it until you, what I call bird box it, which is like hold your eyes open and stare at the ugly, scary truth. You have to see it to break out of it. And then you have to reclaim your power and your sovereignty as a, again, master manifester and projector of reality. We're the ones co-creating reality with the universe, not the lower dimensional beings, whatever you want to look at them as, aliens or otherwise, right? But my feeling is that it's probably going to be, like I said, just an energy harvesting thing. The more fear they can muster up, the better. And I think the biggest distraction is from the solar activity that's upgrading us and part of the ascension. So that's what I think. So let's get into the readings now. I'm going to stop sharing. Does anybody have any questions about the astrological stuff before we move on? So I went through to pick the decks, and this is one of the decks that wanted us to work with it. It's called the Alchemical, the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, and I've really never even touched it. I don't even know, and I think it's like a hexagonal deck. So I went through with my pendulum and asked what decks had messages for us, and this was the first one. The other one is going to be the Rose Oracle. And then maybe we'll get into some tarot. Hi, Wisteria. How are you? Okay, so let's just start with the overall energy for this solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th. Thank you, honeys. Thank you very much. I think the sunlight's giving me a little bit of a halo, a little bit of a glow. As a collective, what is the overall energy and theme for this solar eclipse on Monday? So again, whether you want to look at it as Aries or Pisces, overall energy. And then we'll get into some personal readings. My subscribers will go first. We'll see how much energy I have. And we'll go from there, but I'll try to do as many as we can. Okay, interesting. Saturn. Okay, so I think Saturn is a planet that gets kind of misconstrued. Saturn, now this is going to be for some of you guys that are down the deeper rabbit holes. Again, I know Mariah is one of them, maybe Maggie. So how many of you guys have seen the latest news article? I believe it first came out on a Fox news station in Texas that's talking about this new disorder where people are seeing people's faces turn into demons. It's literally called demon face syndrome. Have you guys seen this? This was on mainstream news like a week ago. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. And I first seen that and I was like, this has got to be a joke, right? But this was like, it came out like a week or two before April Fools. You can Google it right now. And then I think it was just on CNN like 2 days ago. Okay. So there's this new syndrome that some people, and they're not calling it a mental illness. They're like, that's the real name of it. I'm not even going to try to freaking pronounce that. Here's the picture of what they posted on it to say this is what people are going to be seeing. Okay. So, in my opinion, back to the solar flares and back to the solar activity, lower dimensional beings that are basically shapeshifters are not going to be able to hold their human form, and we're going to be able to start seeing them. So this is basically prepping people so that when they see this, they're not scared. They're going to believe that they have some sort of whatever this prosmorphia is, right? You guys remember in the beginning of the year, the girl that was on the airplane that was like, those motherfuckers right there aren't real. And she made him let her off the plane. I think she's seen this. Okay. They're preparing you for what's getting ready to go down. As these sun solar upgrades for humanity come in, not only are you going to be getting upgraded, I know, I feel like the sun is definitely blessing us now. But most of you guys might not be old enough, but in the 90s, there was a song called Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. And if you watch the video, the freaking faces on those people look just like this demon face. And Black Hole Sun, the song, was about a solar eclipse. So it's all lining up, okay? But the black sun is the planet Saturn, okay? And in astrology, we're made to think, I love the song too, and I love Chris Cornell. And don't get me going on the Chris Cornell killing himself with a string on the doorknob. He was 100% murdered. 100% he was, period. It's amazing. Go watch the video. Well, first of all, what you need to go do is go watch the news article. Go watch the video. It's on YouTube. It was a Fox something channel in Texas. Watch that and then go watch the video for Black Hole Sun. You're going to be like, what the fuck? And it's about a solar eclipse. Okay. So, but the black sun is Saturn, and Saturn is, there's many Gnostic beliefs that that Saturn was our binary sun, and then it was basically locked with the rings of Saturn are part of, well, I'm not the best to explain it, but when the moon, because the moon was not here originally. In fact, there's a lot of ancient cultures that have many, many stories before the moon was here, and then they have a lot of stories about when the moon was brought in. The moon is a satellite that was brought in. Courtney, hello, I'm glad you're here. I feel like Courtney will know. I need some backup here. We're talking about the demon face phenomena that just started and the black hole sun, because we just got the Saturn card, and how Saturn is the black sun and was part of our binary system, and then the rings were put around it to like lock it in. Also, rabbit holes to go down are the black cube theory. At the top of the planet Saturn, it looks like a perfect cube. And if you look at like, I think it's the Jewish religion, the little black hats that they wear, that's the Saturn representation. Saturn representations everywhere. But Saturn in astrology is literally the matrix. It's the time space matrix, and the planet Saturn is known as the great malefic, or like bad planet, right? A benefic planet is beneficial and malefic is bad, scary, like Maleficent is what I always say from Sleeping Beauty, right? So interesting that we're starting right off the bat with Saturn. So to be honest, there is a little bit of already kind of some darker energy here, right? But we don't want to be the people that, even though I believe we are so powerful and we are creating our future and we are creating co-creating with the universe, I don't think we should be bypassing things. I don't believe in just like love and light all the time and ignoring it, because again, we have to know what the agenda is. We have to know what they're up to, and then we can counteract it, right? But if we just pretend like everything's going to be fine, we're going to get hit. We're going to get blindsided. So to start out with, what we need to know is Saturn. And if you look at it, it's the sickle of death. right? But also, this is the sign for as above, so below. As above, so below. Our first message there. And tell me why that doesn't look like the symbol for Pisces right there. Does it not? Does it not look like the symbol for Pisces? Okay. So if you needed some confirmation as to whether to work with the Aries or the Piscean energy, it's definitely giving Pisces. Interesting. I also am noting that there looks like there's a little domino on there at the bottom of the card, which is the number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going. But yeah, look into those. So I believe that Saturn was part of our, immediate energy, like the moon, and then it got trapped. Eliminate the darkness. I agree with everything. Thank you. Okay, we're going to keep going. So again, for what we need to know about the eclipse on Monday, blood. It's giving ritual. It is giving like mass ritual. But blood, we have to remember that the blood is also our power, right? Our DNA. We are the sovereign human living breathing beings. The lower dimensional entities, or the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, right? They do not have this. They want that. You could look at them as vampires also too, right? I feel like I could go a lot deeper than I am, but I don't know. Yes, like sacrifice. Exactly. Exactly. What's funny is the deck that I was planning on using, I have a deck here that's all 100% conspiracy, right? But I was like, no, I don't really want to go with that because I know that it's going to just bring up dark energy. Just like if I go with a deck that's all love and light and fluff. I wanted to have a mixed energy. Look how cool that is that just showed up. I'm loving this energy. Conspiracy you heard was war is planned, was supposed to be in 2019, will come before 2026. Well, I mean, right now there's like all kinds of stuff popping off over in the Red Sea with China and Russia and America. But again, I think overall what we do is we like see what's going on here. And then I think everybody, especially if you're going to go outside, the way that I view it is we should all be standing out there like a Care Bear stare and basically just blast it with so much love and so much light. But in order to have that light, you need to be going outside and you need to be getting the solar energy literally every single day. And look how much they're blocking out the sun right now. I'm sorry. This weather is not natural. It's 100% weather modification, man-made. If you don't believe in man-made weather yet, then you probably shouldn't be following me. I'm not the one for you. They cloud seed. It's proven. Farmers know it. Again, it's not, these are things that are not even really conspiracy theories anymore. It's like everybody knows that. Okay. It's called cloud seeding. Yes, I call it chemtrails, but it's cloud seeding. so many rabbit holes. So just start writing notes and start going down. Because again, we have to wake up from this shit if we're ever going to reclaim our sovereignty. Okay. And that's another thing that I've been talking about a lot lately too, is the 144,000, which we were spoon fed and meant, and we were raised to think that it's going to be like, 144,000 people that get into heaven and like everybody else is going to burn in hell. That's not what it is. 144,000 people that come to a certain level of consciousness, reclaim their sovereignty, hold a vibration of light and sovereignty where we hit critical mass, we start creating the new earth. You guys see, oh, wait, look at these people. I thought they were crazy, but actually it looks like it's working. You guys start believing in yourselves. And this is how we create the new earth. A new earth, another planet just doesn't show up, right? We're not going to just all of a sudden one day look up and there's a separate earth there and we're just going to jump onto it, right? We create the new earth with our density. That's another word that I think gets misused a lot, is we talk about the fifth dimension or the higher dimensions. But the way that we get to the higher dimensions, we have to get to higher density. So we're less dense. And the only way to lose density and get to, so higher density is losing the heaviness and you become lighter, more light, literally. And in order to do that, you have to do shadow work. You have to work with forgiveness. You have to let go of all the heavy, dense trauma, generational stuff, all of the, self-hatred, all of that stuff. The more of that type of healing that you do, you raise in density. So once there's enough, the 144,000 that are a high enough density, that's when the dimension shifts happen. But the density shift has to happen first. Okay. You listen to someone who said that the new earth would be 2029. Well, maybe as a collective. I mean, again, a lot of people already think I'm batshit crazy anyway. So what do I have to lose? I literally feel like I'm already in it. It's just very hard because I'm a bridge between both worlds. And even like my husband is not quite here yet. And I'm kind of going back and forth. So there's a lot of us that are bridges that are already here and creating the new earth, and we're acting as bridges for people to come over. Oh, hello, Amber. Yes, you did. You did. So if you're here, no matter where you're at on your level of awakening, I do not believe in coincidence. I do not believe in coincidence. So you are here for a reason, and you are either one of those 144 that's going to get there real quick, or you're coming right after me. Okay. And then you guys will be the next 144 that will bring over another 144, and so on and so forth. So we're all in that new dimension. But the new dimension, which is the actual physical space of it, cannot be built until the density gets to the right place, right? Okay, so back to the solar eclipse though, right? So the solar eclipse is happening, and you guys know that it's making the X. Now, let me just tell you, back in 2017, like I said, I was guided to stay within. And what I did do was I went ahead and channeled. I opened myself up to channel during that eclipse. And I want to read it to you guys, but I had it ready and I don't know what I've done. Well, here it is. I did not know that the next eclipse was going to be 7 years later. Okay. So that was it was in August of 2017, the Great American Eclipse. And it went from southwest all the way to northeast. This one's coming in from southeast and going up to northeast, but it's going to create an X. The first one went through 7 towns named Salem, and this one's going through 7 towns named Nineveh. And Nineveh is in the Bible. Okay, so I sat in and channeled. I want to read you guys that. Stick with me because you guys know I jump around. Hence the name Rhiannon Rambles, right? And I have too much shit. Where? You guys. I lost it. No. Found it. Okay. So this is what I channeled on August 21st, 2017 during the solar eclipse. Dear ones, at this time we ask that you go forward carefully and in your full body. It is our understanding that many galactic energies are gathering above and all around Mother Gaia. Many of you may have seen other bodies of light as you looked upon your star this morning. Do not be afraid, for we are the Galactic Federation of Love and Light, here to serve you at this critical point of mass awakening on your planet. And we're definitely in a way bigger mass awakening now than we are then. This might have been my mass awakening. Some of us woke up. Again, the first 144 were waking up before everybody else. So I feel like everything that I wrote this here is actually more relevant now. I feel like it was a foretelling, a channeling for what's going to happen on Monday. Okay. It says, it is time for the divine feminine archetype to move back into power. For too long, the masculine has run amok for power and greed. It is time to move forward in love and call upon your heavenly mother, which I've been working with much more Heavenly Mother than Heavenly Father. Heavenly Mother is Sophia. If you haven't gone down the Sophia rabbit hole, read the Sophia Codes is really good. I recommend that because the Sophia Codes is an activation. And you literally activate your DNA. Okay. So I would do that. It is time to move forward in love. Call upon your heavenly mother. She is ready to aid you in your ascension and your light activation. And that's what's happening now with the solar flares, is the light activation. But then I signed it and said, from the love and light that is the 7, which I'd never worked with anything called the 7 before. Then come to find out that the eclipse that's crossing it was 7 years later. And I had no idea of this back then. This is back in 2017. So the 7. And isn't Saturn the 7th planet? Is Saturn the 7th planet? Pretty sure it is, because with Vedic astrology and classical astrology, before they discovered the outer planets, which are Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, there used to just be 7 planets that they worked with. And I'm pretty sure the furthest one out, the 7th planet, was Saturn. And that's the first card that we got. So there's this, and then 7 towns named Salem and 7 towns named Nineveh. So the 7 is a very important number here to be working with. Your 7 chakras, the 7 heavens. 7's a very powerful number. You're right next to Nineveh. Okay, so here's the question, because you weren't here when we first got on. What are you being guided to do? Are you being guided to stay in on the eclipse, or are you going outside during the eclipse? That's the question. And again, I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I think it's going to be different for everybody. It's the 6th planet. What's the 7th planet then? Because we don't count Earth, right? In astrology, anyways. Blue avian. I think I missed something. What's giving you the blue avian vibes? Oh, with the channel. Maybe it was the blue. I didn't even know who the blue avians were back then, but I do know now. Yeah. Staying in is what you're feeling. If you do go outside, I'm just asking anybody that goes outside, do a Care Bear stare and just send. And it's not like we can't do the Care Bear stare from inside, right? No matter what, I feel like it's not a time to be working necessarily on personal matters. It should be a collective energy. Yeah, the moon does count. Yes. So we've got, so the closest planet to Earth is moon. Well, it's considered a planet in astrology. So it goes the moon, then Mercury, then Mars, then Venus, then why can't I think of anything right now? Venus. Let me look. Mars, Saturn, Jupiter. Jupiter would have been the 7th planet. So. I think you're right. Jupiter's further out than Saturn, right? No, but Uranus is not one of the 7 classical planets. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are the modern planets that were discovered later on. So they were not part of classical astrology. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Yeah, that's the total. But the 7 classical planets do not include Neptune, Pluto, or Uranus. But the other one was Jupiter. But I think Jupiter is further out than Saturn. Either way, let's go back to the readings. We're asking about the collective energy. Okay. We start with Saturn. Then we go to blood. So the blood is important. The blood, you could even look at that as the Christ consciousness, right? Because Jesus, whether you want to look at him as an actual being or just the symbology of it, right, is that he was the ultimate sacrifice and the blood was the symbol of that sacrifice, right, which is the symbol of humanity. But I'm back. I already took the astrology thing down, but when you look at that sun moon Chiron conjunction, it's very much the Christ consciousness. And when you look at the Pisces energy of it, right, the age of Pisces, we're still in the age of Pisces, you guys. We're not in the age of Aquarius yet. And here's how they determine that. Every year on the spring equinox, they look to see what constellation is the sun rising in on the spring equinox. It's still very much in Pisces. It's not in Aquarius yet. It's not going to be in Aquarius for like, I think 400 more years. But here's why that's powerful. If we believe that we're already in the age of Aquarius, then we're going to be focusing on all the stuff they want to be spoon feeding us, which is the AI and the robots and all stuff that's going to take us over. We still haven't taken down the patriarchy and the religious powers that be. That's what we're supposed to be doing in the Piscean age. So they want us to think this is basically how they steal time from us. If they have us believe that the sun is already in Aries and that we're already in the age of Aquarius, we skip a whole generation. This is why they switched the calendar system. This is also like why they do daylight savings, and they're always constantly messing with time, you guys. It's a control system. Western tropical astrology with this misinformation may be the drive that pushes things forward. Yes, very true. Very true. Okay, so we're going to keep going with overall. I might have to get into some different cards. I'm feeling like we're going to go another direction. So we've got kind of two darker energies here. And again, Saturn is like symbolic for the matrix. Okay. So what are we supposed to do as a collective of sovereign, living, breathing humans, or people that want to reclaim their sovereignty and not be part of this blood sacrifice or this matrix? What are we supposed to know or do? This is a brand new deck that just came out on Hay House, and I have not felt a connection to a deck from Hay House for a long time, let alone one that is kind of like fluffy and love and light. It's called The Golden Future. It came in my subscription where you get a box sent to you every 3 months and you don't know what's going to be in it. It's giving Galactic Federation. So as light beings, so everybody in here watching me or on the playback are people who are, again, I believe part of the 144. What do we need to know? What should we be holding energetically? Animals and the law. Okay. So remembering always universal law. Well, the first one is the law of free will. You have to give over. Nobody, including the lower vibrational or lower density beings that run the planet currently, they can't do anything without our consent. So every single night you can, and I think you should, call back your energy, transmute it, clean. So what? Here, let me walk you through what I say especially because I do so many readings and I exchange so much energy. I want to reclaim my energy. I want to sever any cords that I may have connected with my clients. And so I say, I call back any and all energy that was given intentionally or unintentionally, clean, clear, and transmuted. Okay. I say that every single night. Then I say, I send back any evil eye, judgment, gossip. What else do I say? There's a couple more. I send all that back to sender. So you want to be sending me some stank fucking energy? It's coming back to you every fucking night. I don't do it once a week. I don't do it on the full moon. I do it every night before I go to bed. But the most important part of that is calling back your energy. So I call back any and all energy that was given willingly or unwillingly, clean, cleared, and transmuted. Okay. That way you're and also all day long, you can say out loud, I do not consent to this. I do not consent. You can see it sometimes on like TikTok videos. If you see somebody posting like a really scary, like demonic video, and you'll see people in the comments saying, I do not claim this energy. That's actually smart. It's actually really smart. In fact, I've never fucked with horror movies. I am so sensitive. I cannot watch horror. I'm not judging anybody that does, but energetically, I've never been able to do that. And if you do watch that type of thing, you need to be clearing your energy after. You need to be, or maybe even before you watch it, saying, I don't consent to this. I don't consent to take any of this on energetically. I'm watching this for entertainment. But I've never been able to. Like, I've never watched any of the classic, like, Jason movies or Freddy Krueger's or anything. Like, I'm Gen X, 46 years old. The heyday of horror movies, I haven't seen any of them. So the law, remembering law, and we've got a 22 there, so a master number, okay? Also, this feels like it is going to be a balancing, right? This is kind of like, this is giving like it's kind of like their last ditch effort because again, back to the solar flares, I believe we have a great solar flash happening this year. I've done a video on that on my YouTube. You can go watch it that will explain what the solar flash is. And again, a lot of people are going to fearmonger the solar flash and they're going to be like, it's going to be an EMP and it's going to knock down the power grid and blah, 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 blah. Maybe it could, an EMP could take down the power grid, but trust me, once it's also going to take down the lower density beings. They cannot hold the light the way that we can hold the light. We are literally light beings and light workers. Yes, but I feel like you still need to either use your free will to state that up front or make sure you're reclaiming your energy after, right? That's just an example. That's not one of the most important ones, but to ask what we're supposed to do to combat this energy with the eclipse is we're going to remember the law, the universal law of consent, the universal law of free will, the universal law of what are the 7 universal laws? I have the Kabbalion right here. Help me out. My mind's blank. Mercury retrograde's not the best time to be doing this. What are the 7 universal laws of Hermeticism? Yes, duality. Mentalism, vibration, rhythm, polarity, cause and effect, gender, correspondence, and natural law. Okay. I know the 7. Why? Why are you saying that right now? What are you thinking, Mariel, that I'm missing? So I think for me, I'm definitely going to be doing some channeling again. Okay, so natural law, the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect. So let's break them down. Correspondence, the principle of correspondence. That which is above is like to be that which is below, which is the symbol that we got here with Saturn with the hand, right? Like the Baphomet makes. So that which is above is like that which is below. That which is below is like that which is above. The macrocosm, the very large totality, which is an interesting word since we're talking about eclipse, right? And the microcosm, the very small, the individual units which comprise the whole, are reflections of each other. The universe is holographic. It is self-similar across all scales. So a reminder that the universe is a holograph, which means we're creating it with our belief, with our energy, right? The polarity, the yin, the yang, which is exactly what a solar eclipse is. It is polarity because it is, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's the yin yang. The moon is the yin and the sun is the yang, and they're together. Now, there's other talk out in these streets too that it's not going to be the moon eclipsing the sun that day, that it's planet Nibiru, but I don't know if you guys are ready for that yet. I don't know if you're ready for that, Jelly. Who knows about Nibiru? Raise your hand. The message you channeled from 2017 with 7. Now the 7. Oh, the 7 universal laws. Holy shit. I'm glad you said that because I wasn't even connecting that dot. You're so right. This is the 7 universal laws. Thank you. Good job, Sherry. She knows. Nibiru is a whole other rabbit hole. Okay, and then the other one is animals, which I'm not quite sure why the animals is coming out, but anybody that knows about what happens during eclipses, and I did notice this during the eclipse in 2017, is my dogs would not go outside. And I have 2 little dogs, and the minute that I open the door, they want to run outside and try to bark and bite at people. So for them to not want to go outside, that told me everything I needed to know about the energy. The animals stay in. The animals get quiet. And yes, part of that is because it's getting dark. And so all of a sudden they think it's night. But they're like, wait, what the fuck? It shouldn't be night. It should be noontime. But to me, what the guidance is saying is do what the animals would do. So the insects, that's another thing that we haven't even talked about is the cicadas. They're going to be out. And there's 2 different types of cicadas. each of them only come out like every 17 or 18 years, but it's been like 200 something years since both of those types of cicadas have been out at the same time. Now, if you think about what the cicada does, it's a vibration, like a bee. In fact, I heard the other day that bees don't even really fly. They don't flap their wings. They're using their vibration to hover. So, what was the question I asked when I pulled these? What should we be doing as a collective to counteract the blood sacrifice, the matrix plan? We should remember the 7 universal laws, not give consent, and follow the lead of the animals, which says honor the animal kingdom, right? Mother nature is not going to lie to us. You got a Shiba Inu, jealous. Listen to your puppies, listen to your kitties. But if you are somewhere that you're going to be able to hear the cicadas, I do think maybe open up those windows, because I do think there will be vibrational healing resonance from that happening. But maybe the animal card is coming in to say also, maybe just because the cicadas are supposed to come up, maybe they don't, right? Maybe they don't, because who knows? Just because they're supposed to come up this time of year, I don't know. I guess I should have done a little background. I don't know if that's tied to the eclipse or not, but I feel like that was a very clear message, you guys. Yeah, but I was going to keep reading about the universal laws. Then we'll get into individual readings. Again, my subscribers have first dibs, but I'll try to get to as many as we can. So I know for sure Sherry's in here. She's a subscriber. If Bianca's still in here, or Mariah, and if you're not a subscriber yet, in my Facebook group, Reads Tarot LLC, you can become a subscriber for $9.99 a month, and you get a lot compared to what it costs to work with me privately. It costs $4.44, or actually $4.99 a minute, up to $9.99 a minute to get readings with me privately. So it's the best way to be. And we have a lot of fun. And we usually do like at least one group thing where like we're all live on a group privately. And then I try to do one public one, but my subscribers always get first dibs. Oh, and Kristen too. Yay. But I'll try to get to as many as we can. Just make sure that you're at least subscribed to me. Make sure you like this video. Energy in for energy out. That's part of the universal laws, right? Don't take more energy than you give, because then things are out of balance. Okay. So for the law of polarity, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All paradoxes must be reconciled. So to me, and also with the scales of justice here, I do believe it's a time of reckoning. I do believe, back to the 144,000, back to the ascension, back to the solar flares. This is the time, you guys. We are overtaking those powers that be. They're going down, and they effing know it. Oh, I'm excited for you to come hang out with us, honeys. And yeah, as we get more subscribers, I'm always open to like adjusting the type of lives and the type of stuff we do based on what you guys want to work on, what you guys want to learn. You guys know me. I have my hands in 1,000 different things. So I sometimes need the people in my group to help guide what we're going to talk about, what we're going to learn. Okay. The law of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law, including those that have been creating false law. Now, that's another rabbit hole for you to go in. If you really want to reclaim your sovereignty, you need to look at how they changed us to maritime law, and all of our judges and all of our systems are maritime law, which is not the law of the land. It's not constitutional. Okay. So that's another rabbit hole for you to go down. Okay. The law of mentalism. The all is the mind. The universe is mental. Thoughts lead to the manifestation of things and events. So that goes back to what we were saying originally. Don't go into fear. Create and use your power of thought and manifestation to create this new earth. What is that going to look like for you? What are you going to be able to do in the new earth that you're not able to do now? Are you going to be able to walk away from a shitty 9-to-5 job that you don't like? I mean, especially with this economy right now, people needing to work 2 and 3 jobs, completely stressed out, like that. We get to leave all that behind. We get to work and live in a world that's fair, probably doing more of like a barter system. Why do we have to pay to live on this planet, right? That's the type of stuff this is asking us to be thinking about and reclaiming that in our sovereignty. The law of vibration: nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. At the most fundamental level, the universe and everything which comprises it is pure vibratory energy, manifesting itself in different ways. The universe has no solidity, so nothing is solid. Everything is moving. That's the thing that crystals teach us, right? Quartz crystal is neither a solid nor a liquid. It has a vibration. This is why they put it in computers and phones and all the things, right? The law of rhythm: everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. The pendulum swings, manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. And then the final law, which is the law of gender: mental gender is the state of coexistence between masculine and feminine, which is what an eclipse is, right? The moon and the sun, the masculine and the feminine. Of the human mind, our left brain hemisphere largely facilitates the masculine aspect of the mind, or the intellect, the logic, the analytical, and the inner thought process, while the right brain hemisphere largely facilitates the feminine. You know what that makes me think of is also the polarity between half of us thinking that it's going to be in Aries and half of us thinking it's going to be in Pisces, and maybe we look at it as both, right? What if we look at it as both? Because it would have been in Aries for all those years. That Aries energy does imprint on this time of year. It does, which is why if your birthday, like Muriel's, is Monday and she's lived as an Aries all this long, she's going to manifest as an Aries. But again, her higher octaves of herself would be to connect to that Piscean energy and allow herself to soften and allow herself to move into that energy. So I feel like it's telling us to use both, right? And not choose. That's the other thing that the lower density matrix system wants us to think, that we have to choose. It wants to polarize us. We can have it all. Pisces is the martyr to Aries, which connects to the blood of Jesus. And the mention, wow. So true. So true. Okay, well, that was amazing. Okay, so now let's get into some reading. So who was in here first out of my subscribers? I think it was Kristen or Sherry. These are the decks that I was guided to work with. So you can choose from one of these. If you really have a specific question that you've really been dying to ask, I am happy to use tarot, but let me know. And we don't have I think I'm probably going to get to everybody tonight. So, but I would love to see some more faces in our subscriber. There's Nicole. Hi, honeys. Okay, so let me just pick somebody. Okay, let's go with Kristen. Kristen, you're up first. Then Sherry, then Bianca, then Nicole. I am definitely going to be channeling again on Monday, so I'll have to come back and share with you guys what comes through there. You guys, I can't make this up. I just picked up this random notebook and look what it says on the top. 7 spheres. The 7 spheres, and then the 9th is the angel, it says, which I don't even know what that's about. I don't even know when I wrote that. So Kristen, if you're ready, then we're going to go Kristen, Sherry, Bianca, Nicole, and then I will go to our other viewers as I have energy. Okay. Let's do the pendulum. Let's let the pendulum choose. So I grabbed 3 decks. So we've got the Rose Oracle. We've got the, what did I say this one was called? the golden future, and we've got the alchemical. You guys, I need to clean my office. That's what I need to be doing. Cleaning this office. So let's get the pendulum out. The other one is the archetype deck. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3 decks. Let's grab the pendulum. Okay. So for Kristen, is the archetype the deck that has the answers for Kristen at this time? Yes. You may have one of each. We'll just ask. Are there messages for Kristen in the Rose Oracle today? No. Are there messages for Kristen in the Golden Future? Yes. Okay, so for Kristen, we're doing the Golden Future, and I need to keep these all handy. The archetype. Okay, so Kristen, you've got a lot of big changes going on right now. So I know that you're probably, a little bit focused on that. Now, any of my subscribers that were in my live for the lunar eclipse, how has your 2 weeks gone? Because we all had very specific stuff we were working on for the lunar eclipse. So Kristen, how have you been doing with that while I'm shuffling? Report back. Oh, Mariah, I forgot you. Of course, Mariah. So it'll go Bianca, Mariah, then Nicole. Yeah, good. For anybody, again, these solar flares, the solar activity is definitely going to heighten anxiety. And I know I talk about it all the time and I sound like a broken record. Get you some bioplasma cell salts. In fact, I'm going to have some right now. You take a few, they look like little baby aspirin, and you put them under the tongue. They help ground you. If you have a headache, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling anxious, they are bioplasma cell salts. 10 out of 10 do recommend. Have you started working with them yet, Sherry? Okay, so Kristen, from the archetype deck, you have sugar, sacrum, sugar, sweetness. It's also a crystal, just like salt, okay? So your life is about to get much sweeter, which is very, very exciting. And then let's pull the golden future. Messages for Kristen at this time during the solar eclipse. Golden stellar internet. This is giving blue avian too, for sure, huh? 36. Communicate in a 5th dimensional way, which I feel like you do anyways, but it's with that combined sweetness, right? So let's go to sugar. XXXI. Okay, sugar. Oh, how sugar dances on the tongue. No matter how intellectual and scholarly our pursuits, sugar reminds us of our longing for simple pleasures. Until the 12th century, our need for sweetness, it is after, for simple pleasures until the 12th century. Our need for sweetness, it is after all one of the 5 essential tastes in Ayurveda. And it was fulfilled by raw honey offered by the bees. This material had many medicinal properties and was known in alchemy as the sacred elixir. Now, most of our sources of sweetness, both literally and metaphorically, are highly processed, defined for us by a culture of consumption. This card is a call to explore the simple sweetness in life. Can you add tenderness to your alchemical experiment? How about joy or even laughter? It is likely the pleasure that you crave will not be found from manufactured means, but from the childlike wonder residing in the heart. Remember the alchemical wisdom of like attracts like. So that reminds me of that saying where they say honey gets more bees, right? Honey gets more bees than vinegar, which you are so sweet. I mean, obviously you're always in a sweet, good mood when you're around me. So I don't know, maybe this solar activity and this eclipse has been putting you a little bit in your honories, which is fine. And I know that you're the same age as me. So I know that you're going through um, perimenopause, and that the big changes. There's just a lot of big changes going on. And so, but I feel like overall, the energy that I got was that things are about to get a lot sweeter for you. Sacred sweetness, pleasure, and attraction. Okay. But stay sweet. And then focus on this fifth, communicating in a fifth dimensional way. To me, what that feels like is perhaps you should try some channeling on the day of the eclipse as well. If you've never tried channeling before, for some people are able to just open up that throat chakra and speak it. I do better with the automatic writing. But I have been doing a lot of work on my throat chakra, obviously, in the last 7 years. So I am going to probably try to channel audibly this time. But if you've never tried automatic writing, that would be a good way. But that's what this feels like for you, Kristen, for you to be able to communicate in a fifth dimensional way, opening up and doing some channeling. Okay. But let's look that up real quick. 36, which is a 9, which 9s are all about completing cycles and getting ready to start new ones, which is what you're doing. 36. Okay, golden stellar internet. The internet allows huge amounts of information to be transmitted instantly. In the golden future, it will be replaced by a golden quantum stellar internet using fifth frequency wave bands that only carry positive, inspiring spiritual information. Well, that also makes me think that another thing that's going on right now is obviously the 5G has been amped up, which is making people feel a little bit like woo woo, which is also not woo woo in a good way either, but you need to ground. Okay. And this is saying, like, in the new earth, we're going to have internet that's not going to make us feel like shit. That's not going to bombard us with fucking EMF and all kinds of garbage, right? As the new golden age progresses, humanity will receive much wisdom and assistance from the masters of telephony, the part of Mercury that is already ascended, and other friends in the universe who are already cooperating with Archangel Michael to set in place a fifth dimensional communication network. This will eventually be replaced by a seventh dimensional system anchored through Stonehenge. The crystal transmissions are being programmed one more time to help humanity. The guidance here is the masters of telephony are the 12 illuminated beings who oversee the ascended aspect of Mercury, the planet of communication, which, girl, we are in Mercury retrograde, okay? Your entire, they link you through your throat chakra, your center of truth, which is overseen by Archangel Michael. Ask Archangel Michael to fill your throat center with royal blue and gold energy. Then send out an intention to connect with the masters of telephony. As you do so, magnificent angels on the golden ray will work with you. Part of your ascension mission is to hold the light. That has been my message. If you watch any of my videos, and if you guys aren't following me on TikTok, my TikTok is Rhiannon Rambles Official. I definitely put a lot more content out on there. Hold the light. That's literally what I'm just hearing every single day. Hold the light. But again, in order to hold the light, you need to make sure that you're getting outside and absorbing it through the skin with no sunscreen on. I'm sorry, you guys, sunscreen is not good. And neither are sunglasses. Take the sunglasses off. Look into sun gazing. To start out, you need to be doing it for the first 15 minutes in the morning and the last 15 minutes of the sunset, and you can build yourself up to where you have more of a tolerance. I'm able to bird box that sun at noon. I can stare directly into the sun. You're feeling like having a clear quartz in one pocket and the permanent. Ooh, yes. And let's see if something comes up in your cards that will confirm that, Sherry. Okay, back to Kristen. Part of your ascension mission is to hold the light that will enable the golden quantum stellar internet of the golden age to be established. When you do this, your throat chakra will glow with integrity, honor, and courage, allowing you to communicate in a pure and charismatic way. It is time to impart your truth consciously in a fifth dimensional way, as if you were already in the new golden future. When you do this, people will trust and respect you. Okay. So Kristen, not that you need to be any sweeter. The only other thing I was thinking with this card too is, especially right now with the energies being as intense as they are, is that you may be extra sensitive and you may be wanting to make sure that you're not consuming obviously table sugar, and most importantly, what is it called? Corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is horrible. It's GMO. It's inflammatory. It's in a lot of different things. So you may also find that you're more sensitive. You may want to look into making sure that your blood sugar and that type of stuff stays good, because all of this intense energy is also going to be activating things and maybe making you feel a little bit off. Okay. All right. That was for lovely Kristen. All right. Next we have Sherry. Okay, Sherry, did you have decks that were calling you, or do you want me to do the pendulum for you as well? I mean, black tourmaline quartz, you cannot go wrong, right? Amber, if I have the end of the reading for those who come first, I would love a reading for. Absolutely, Amber. I appreciate you coming in today. You have a great energy. Oh, Angela, hello. Love you too. Are you heading off? The one that had Saturn is calling you. Okay. Well, let's do for sure this, and then I'll ask the other two if they have messages for you. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Okay, so for Sherry, so we're getting to the personal readings right now. I'm going to make sure all my subscribers go first. Then I've got Amber as the first non-subscriber, and I'll try to get to as many as we can, but we're probably like 45 minutes out. Okay, for Sherry, is there messages for Sherry in this deck? Yes. Are there messages for Sherry in this deck? Yes. Okay, so Sherry's getting 3. Okay, good night, lovey. Love you. Okay, so for Sherry, boom, boom, boom. Messages for Sherry, and also putting it out there that she was being called towards clear quartz and black tourmaline. So if there's anything for her to know about that, we're open to those messages. Good. You're probably feeling amazing after your cruise and your vacay. So jealous. I'm ready for another cruise. I went on that same cruise last May. Okay, so Sherry, you've got the magnum opus, which is the great work. The great work, which this is the great work. All of this is the great work, right? Awakening is the great work. But if I look at the images, you can see the flowers are closed off. They're still in bud form. So this feels very much like you're like really getting ready to open, Yeah. And then this is confirmed with jump, shift your life, tune into crystals. Look what you just got. You got the tune into crystals card, and you were literally just talking about, and we asked for confirmation for you to work with those crystals, and we literally just got the confirmation. So absolutely yes. Okay, so here's the deal with crystals. Are you left or right-handed, Sherry? You bring in energy with your non-dominant side. So that's for most people, left side, because most people are right-handed. And then you give energy with your dominant or your right side. Okay. So yeah, that's how it usually works. I don't know why though. I'm feeling like you should switch. I feel like you should do the black tourmaline on the left and the clear quartz on the right. You can muscle test when you do that too. You can do the muscle testing this way, or you can stand up and ask yourself the question. And if you fall forward, but first you need to ask yourself a question that you know is true, and see when it's true, do you fall forward or do you fall backwards? And then you can do it that way too. Okay. And then your other card you got was plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, grounded action. Okay, so all of this is really about getting grounded, because you are getting ready to do the great work. And the best thing that you can do before you start that is to get grounded. And that's why you're being called to that perfect balance of the clear quartz and the black tourmaline. You have, what is that? Dequarium's tendinotus on the right wrist. Oh, okay. So yeah. I'm trying to think for that also, rhodonite is really good for inflammation. I thought I had some on my desk. Rhodonite is great for bruised inflammation. So if you wanted to put that right on your wrist, I can't find any right now, but I do think that would be good. Okay. So the great work, you're getting ready to start jump, shift your life. I don't know if I'm going to read all these, but let's get to the LX1. Okay, magnum opus. Attention, devotion, vocation. The magnum opus shimmers in the distance, promising purpose, achievement, and understanding. When will we get there? When will our efforts be recognized? Amidst the pressure of expectations, we come to realize each alchemist's life is an accumulation of moments in which attention is placed upon the subject within the laboratory. The artist draws in a single line, the poet scribes in a single word, the rose forms in a single leaf. The magnum opus card reminds us that the alchemical garden grows from seeds tended to by devoted hands and the grace of sun, water, and earth. You cannot force the great work. You cannot claim it or complete it. This card arrives to whisper words of encouragement. You are in the right place. The most important place for you. This is the alchemical garden. Tend to the youngest growth to be delicate and precise. Go deeper. Look at and read about conceptual artist Kalara's work. I'll have to send that to you. There's some some artwork it wants you to look at, but you are in the right place at the right time. Jump shift your life. Tune into crystals. I don't think we're going to look that one up because that one made sense because we asked for confirmation for the crystals. Okay. Last one is plant yourself here. That's beautiful. Plant yourself here. Integration embodiment. So this is to help you get really grounded before you start this great work. Okay. Hopefully this is in alphabetical order. I hate it when cards aren't numbered. It's a pain in the butt. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Plant yourself here. Okay. This card is an invitation to commit more fully to your life as a soul having a human experience, to invite your soul to grow roots that reach deep so that you can grow tall. So again, indication that you're growing. Both of these are about big growth. Okay. To invite your soul to grow roots that reach deep down so that you can grow tall, to commit to your humanity and your your expansion at once. I need more light. I got a little light out and I don't know where I put it. I can't see. The rose invites us to embrace all stages of life on earth, from the buds to the bloom, from the cutting back to the fruit. Her beauty and sweet scent are an embodiment of heaven, a nectarous reward for being here. The rose reminds us to take a moment to properly enjoy the sweetness that the sweetness and that heaven really can be a place on earth. So kind of like Kristen's, it's noting things are about to get a lot sweeter for you personally. You've got a big opening that's going to be happening, a great feminine stepping in, really owning the divine feminine, but getting grounded in who you are. And those crystals are going to help you do that. Okay. Beautiful. I love that that crystal card came up. It's perfect. Okay. And Bianca, we're going to go Bianca, and then we're going to go Mariah, and then Nicole, and then Amber. So Miss Bianca, you're welcome, love. Hi, Amy. How are you? We're in the personal readings now. Make sure you watch the playback because the collective energy was pretty on point and pretty intense. Make sure you watch the playback because it was pretty cool. Okay, so Bianca, what are you feeling? Are any of those decks calling you, or do you want me to do the pendulum? Just giving them all a good shuffle. I feel like the rose is calling for you. I feel like this feminine energy would be great for you. But let's do the pendulum. Okay. Messages for Bianca. Are there messages for Bianca in this deck? No to the alchemical right away. Are there messages for Bianca in this deck? Yes. It seems like everybody is getting the golden future deck for sure. Are there messages for Bianca in this deck? Yes. So you've got the Golden Future and the Rose, but not the Alchemical. Okay. So let's start with the Rose. For Bianca, at this time, the solar eclipse, the solar maximum, this new moon, this transitionary energy. Okay. A little messy. Take a breath with me, Bianca. Set your intention as to what you need to know. Don't be afraid of the messages. Don't be afraid of the messages, okay? The Thorn. Protection, boundaries, and clear communication. Okay? Which clear communication is hard to do during Mercury retrograde, no doubt about it. And you have already, I feel like, been exhibiting boundaries. You are working on reclaiming your energy. So I'm going to say that one more time for everybody here and for Bianca. This is a great habit, an energetic maintenance, an energetic habit to get into every night before you go to sleep. I call back all of my energy that was given intentionally or unintentionally, clean, cleared, and transmuted. Okay? Every night before you go to bed. Before you go to bed, your brain is in the theta state, and the theta state is when it's the most programmable. And remember that religion and school and television and movies have been programming us over time. I don't know what's going on out in the world, but I am seeing a man-hating movement like I have never seen before. There are some angry ass women out there in the world, and I get it. The divine masculine needs to step up, but we have to believe that they can and will. If we just want to sit and bash the divine masculine, why are they going to want to heal? Why are they going to want to do any better, right? Work's been crazy, so you needed to set boundaries with it. And there too, right? Clear communication. Ask for what you need and say what you will or will not do, or what you will or do not have the energy for. Okay. And then you got 18, manifestation and mind control. Focus your thoughts. So you need to reclaim and put up the boundaries and be able to focus your energy and your intentions on what you need. Okay. So let's go to the Thorn first. The Thorn. Protection, boundaries, clear communication. We too are like the Rose. So often we don't get taught how important clear communication and loving boundaries are to our relationships. When we're not clear on our needs, when we don't communicate them, when we don't take responsibility for them, it's important for others to give us what we need. This often results in a breakdown in the relationship. Communicating our needs and establishing our boundaries allows not just us to feel safe, but those that we're in relationship with to feel safe too. This card delivers the message of the importance to clear communication, boundaries, and taking responsibility for our needs. To be clear with others, we must be first clear with ourselves, and then communicate this to our loved ones and the world. So the soul inquiry for you is, what loving boundaries are you being called to establish? Okay. And it sounds like what you were feeling right away was work. Then once you do that, this is what you're going to be able to use that energy for, which is for your manifestation and reprogramming your mind, getting rid of the programming that was put there on and programming it towards what you want. Okay. Focus your thoughts. This is a card of power. Receiving this is a reminder that you have untapped gifts that you can develop. It is a time to bring forward the latent possibilities within you. Your guidance is to practice deep relaxation, spend time in quiet contemplation, and do visualizations. I would take this literally for Monday for the eclipse. Okay. Setting the boundaries. Because the other thing you can use eclipses for as well is kind of like full moon, new moon energy at once, right? Because it's going to be bright outside and light, and then it's going to get dark, and then it's going to get light again. Okay, good night, honeys. So this felt like this is what you really should. Are you working Monday, Bianca? So you could do it Monday night. Your guidance is to practice deep relaxation, spend time, quiet contemplation, and do visualizations. Mind control confers enormous influence. It must be used with the wisdom and only for the very highest good of all. Before you apply this gift, ensure that you are living in a fifth dimensional way. But again, I think everybody needs to focus more on density before dimension. Replace the word dimension with density. Third dimension is lower in dense, it's heavier, denser. Then when you get into fifth, sixth, seven, it's actually, even though it's a higher number, you're lighter. You're not in such a dense, heavy energy. You fly to Vegas Monday at 7:30 p.m. Why? I was supposed to be in Vegas this weekend, but I'm glad that I'm not. Vegas, speaking of density, Vegas is very dense. Vegas is like first, second density. It's so fucking heavy there. Ugh. Google conference. Well, I mean, it can be fun, right? Dense doesn't even mean bad. Think of like the root chakra, right? That's more dense than your crown chakra. It's more of a physical, dense energy. Okay, so back to this. Then bring in, okay, so sorry. Before you apply this gift, ensure that you're living in the fifth, it says dimension, I'm going to say density, fifth density way in cooperation and oneness with others. Then bring in your 12th density chakras. Picture them getting bigger and brighter each day until you fill your navel chakra and become bright orange. Then ask Master Merlin, the great alchemist and magician, to oversee you for the highest good when you practice manifestation. Utilize it to help the world. Blah. What's blah? Vegas? Or your energy? I'm not the energy, like your cards. Okay, that's Bianca. All right, Mariah, you're up next, my dear. Then Nicole, and then Amber, and we'll see who else we have time for. Mariah, what are you being pulled for? Or two? If you have one for sure that you want, I'll still do the pendulum to see. I know it is, but if you clear and do your boundaries before you go, then maybe you can manifest, winning a jackpot or something while you're there. You're welcome. When you get back, we probably need to do an updated, well, maybe not quite yet. Maybe we'll wait till Mercury retrograded is over. Mariah, my dear, are you still here? Okay, let's see the pendulum for Mariah. My Leo. Mariah is a Leo through and through. Are there messages for Mariah in this deck? Yes to the alchemy deck. Are there messages for Mariah in this deck? Yes to the golden age. Are there messages for Mariah in this deck? No. Okay, so we're going alchemical and golden age. What did I just hit? Yeah, we were supposed to go to the a concert. Who was it? I can't even remember. Some punk rock band my husband likes. Mariah, lightning. Ooh, you got the snake, the Ouroboros. Okay, so the snake is a symbol of Sophia, the divine feminine, the heavenly mother. Amy, your son is Leo, and a master builder 22. Wow, very cool. I don't know if I've ever done Bianca's numerology. I'll have to do that. I wonder what she. Wait, I know I offered numerology to all my subscribers a couple months ago, but I don't know if Bianca was in there. If you didn't get your numerology reading, Bianca, and if you guys join my subscriber group and go in and scroll and see the things that I've offered and go ahead and say, hey, Ree, would you mind doing this for me? Like, once you become a subscriber, you're a number one. I'm a number one too. And so is my grandbaby whose birthday is today. Okay. So anyways, back to the snake, which is actually, so it's the symbol of Ophiuchus. The snake is the Kundalini. It is, it was made to feel scary when it's not. Okay. Lightning. So in the tarot, lightning always represents like a sudden shift, like boom. Two cards came out here, and I'm just going to ask in for Mariah. What are the messages for her? World peace and cooperation. I mean, obviously, that's what we all want. But you're here. So this feels like you're on a collective energy for this eclipse, which is more of somebody who is really already awakened and part of the initial 144. Like I view myself as that. Again, it's not a hierarchy. Some of us signed up for different things. Some of us signed up to stay back in the old earth for longer to help other people cross over. Some of us signed up to go first, and some of us, nobody's better or worse than anybody else. I promise it's not like that. Okay. But Mariah is definitely one of the first people. She's one of the initial 144. So 10, 13, let's see. It's a 13, which is 1 plus 3 is a 4, and today is 4-4. And 4 is all about foundations, right? Firm foundations, lightning, perfectionism, facade, hesitation. The stage of leucosis, which is like the Latin word for lightning, okay? So all of these cards have the Latin word and then the English word. The stage of leucosis is a complex topic in alchemy. On the one hand, it represents purification of the materials. On the other hand, it's the phase in which the alchemist may mistake the work as complete. On the surface, everything seems perfect, pristine, well thought through, and quite complete. In actuality, the alchemist has been tricked by their own facade of perfectionism. Their work has hardly begun. Righteousness and fear are the great errors of leucosis. This card arrives to remind us to get our hands dirty. No one is separate from or above anyone else. Rather, every alchemist is a kid in the laboratory, tinkering away with the elements of their life. No more fretting over your next move, fearing how others will perceive you. It's time to crack open, become who you are. The world needs your true colors. And trust me, it's been hard. I literally had a sister the other day tell me that my sisters and who knows God who else talking about me thinking that I'm going crazy because I'm talking about this 144,000, but they're looking at it from the biblical sense where they think I'm saying, oh, I'm going to go to heaven. You guys are going to all burn in hell. That's not what it is. And if we're not brave enough to speak up as to who we are and what we're doing, how are we going to help bring anybody over? You have to own who you are. And Mariah, you're much younger than me. So I know maybe you feel like, who's going to listen to me? That's no, you have got to. And that's what this card felt like right away. You're literally here to do that. And you have to start using your voice and talking about what you know. That's one of the hardest things. One of my greatest gifts is claircognizance, and it's one of the hardest because you just download information and you don't know how you know it, and it's the hardest to explain to people. It's easier if you have clairvoyance and you can be like, "Oh, I seen a vision, or I had a dream, or I have clairaudience and I heard of, I don't know, maybe you'll get locked up if you say you heard a voice." But claircognizance is really difficult because you don't really know how you know these things, you just know them. Okay? You cannot play small. Think about your children. I know you'll do it for them. 42. Drawing this card suggests that it's time to bring your life into total peace and joy, then to cooperate with others. Every time you choose a harmonious response or act in a harmless way, you are raising your frequency. Whenever you cooperate with others, so what this actually feels like is maybe you need to come out of hiding a little bit. I know you're at home, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're homeschooling, maybe joining up with some other groups, some other, co-ops, because you're not going to be able to get your messages out to people if you're at home all the time, secluded with just your husband and your kids. Okay. So you got to get yourself out there and find some community. I know this is one of them, and that's amazing. Please feel free to say anything in the group. Like, in that group, it's a very safe place. Nobody's going to judge what you have to say. So if that should be a way easy place. Oh yeah, shout out to other stay-at-home mamas. See, Amber could be also a new friend. See, I'm already going into my crone era. You younger generation, especially those of you that are the chosen ones, it's difficult. Go away, you freaking scamming ass bot. Nobody's gonna message you shit, you fucking dirty scammer. Ugh. Barf. Go away. You're disgusting. Nobody wants you. And note to anybody that's going to be watching this after, no reputable reader is ever going to come in and say shit like that. Gross. Gross. Okay, back to Mariah. Whenever you cooperate with others for your highest cause, you are accelerating your ascension. This will not just transform your personal life, but will help to build the universal peace and the international cooperation in the collective consciousness. Lord Kumeka helped to set up the golden era of Atlantis and has returned to this universe to prepare us for the golden future that awaits us on Earth. As soon as you invoke his assistance and tune into his topaz light, ooh, I love topaz too. Why did I pin that comment? How do I unpin this fucking comment? Okay. Oh, I cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete, cancel, clear, delete. See how fast people can snap us out? So Lord Kamuka, you can look him up. Kumeka. I don't know who that is. I'm going to Google it. Well, I can't because I can't find my phone. And maybe topaz would be a good stone to work with, but okay. Golden era of Atlantis has returned. Topaz light. He will help you step into the light and the peace of the new golden age. When you truly live your life in a fifth density, peace, love, and cooperation, you will automatically draw beautiful abundance from the universe. Okay. It's time. Lightning. It's got to happen fast. Okay, Nicole, my love. First of all, when are my freeze-dried nerds clusters going to be ready? That's the most important thing at hand here. Not that I need to eat any more of them because I have an actual addiction to them. It's not even funny. Pendulum, please. But Nicole, when you have time, go back and watch this from the beginning because you got to catch the collective reading. It was kind of insane. Are they? Okay, cool. I'm so excited. If they're anything as good as the freeze-dried Skittles, and I don't even really like Skittles, but I love me some Nerds clusters. Does anybody else have a Nerds clusters addiction? I like the red ones. A lot of people say the blue ones are better, but I disagree. I think the red ones are the best. Okay, so for Nicole, are there messages for Nicole in the alchemy deck? Yes. Are there messages for Nicole in the Golden Age deck? Nicole, take a breath. It's not moving. Are there messages for Nicole in the Golden Age deck? Yes. Ooh, I choose. Are there messages for Nicole in the Rose deck? No. Okay. I just want to delete her messages in between because every time I look up and I see them, they make me heated. Delete. I need to remember to make some of you guys moderators before I go live again. Mariel, I'm enjoying this so much. I subscribed. If you have time for me, I'd love it. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Okay, so for Nicole, I want to go into deeper stuff, you guys, but I don't want to we got to kind of ease into it, but trust me, I go a lot deeper than this. Nicole, smoke, fumous smoke. Okay, smoke, which is turning what? Taking something physical and dense, and then we burn it, which is part of alchemy, and then it turns into smoke and makes it less dense. So right away. Amber, she can go before me. Thank you. I'll make sure I get to you, honey. Okay. Leisure and sport. Participate and have fun. So I guess the first thing is, have you been invited to something? Is there something that, that you're supposed to go and do? Or maybe there's like a kickboxing class that you want to take, or, like adult dodgeball team or indoor soccer, or like it seems like there's some type of group activity that maybe you've thought about that, like, to one, get yourself out there's like a social thing, but also like move your body, like jazzercise or like some type of thing like that. But let's get into the smoke. This is obviously the really powerful, potent energy. Fumus, which is XXX, so 32. 32, 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay. Smoldering, warning, illusion. Smoke is a tantalizing phenomena, stealth-like and seductive. It swirls and twists, rising and disappearing. It travels great lengths with its signature scent, warning of a flame somewhere in life's laboratory. Such is the nature of the smoke card. When present, the senses are aroused and enticed, yet the warning of the fire cannot be ignored. What kind of smoke is it? Does the smoke carry notes of incense and herbs, or is it laced with the fear-stricken scent of destruction? The smoke card asks us to wake up, to become alert to what is happening around us. Also, didn't you stop smoking recently? Did you start smoking again? Because it could be literal. The smoke card asks us to wake up, to become alert to what is happening around us. I would also literally check all your fucking smoke detectors in your house, check the batteries, and just make sure everything's good. Good for you. That's awesome. Okay. Make sure I just like to cover all bases because sometimes readings come through and they're so literal, and this feels kind of literal. To become alert to what is happening around us. Something burns. Those around you may fall under smoke's seduction, or they may flee in a panic. Don't get distracted by their response. Stay in your own laboratory and see what emerges as you study the smoldering veil. To go deeper, listen to Smoke Rings by Sam Cooke, preferably with eyes closed. So that must be a song. Okay. But smoke is, again, like the initial energy that I got from it. Like I said, when you take a piece of wood that's dense and heavy and porous, which porous means it is able to absorb a lot of things, right? You set it on fire and it gives us heat and warmth, but it transmutes into smoke, which makes it more like the spirit realm. So on like a high spiritual level, it's just a time of transformation, of getting from the less dense to from more dense to less dense, which is what I've been talking about. Whenever you're reading anything or talking, and everything that I'm talking about, I'm trying to change and stop using the word dimension and replace it with density. They're different. I also just made a video about that's on my YouTube, and I think it explains it really good. And then your second one is this leisure and sport. So there's something here for you to get running. Something fun though. Something fun. I started recently lifting weights, and never in my life have I been somebody who's like, I love to work out. Oh my God. I have to work out. I don't feel right if I don't. I am that person now. And I did not realize how much trauma is released through that physical work. I was doing some like chest machine, but it's like on an incline, so my shoulders were super far back, and I hadn't even done anything besides grab onto it, and it stretched me out. And I had a memory from like 3 years old, a very traumatic, not good memory of me pushing somebody off me that very clearly came in at the gym. I started crying. I ran out of the gym. My husband was like, oh my God, what's going on? He thought somebody did something or said something. It was the craziest thing I've ever done. And you know what? That's the density that needs to be cleared. The densest, heaviest stuff is stuff that is from childhood, or that's generational from your moms and your grandmothers. I mean, really, even though there's still a lot more sexual trauma and physical trauma towards us than there should be, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you would be hard pressed to find a woman that hadn't been sexually assaulted as a child, a teenager, or a woman, right? So whether it's yours or it's ancestral, there's definitely a transmutation of physical that's what this is giving to me. I mean, it's not that it's not to just go out and have fun, but literally moving your physical body will remove trauma. Yoga, hip openers, there's a lot of new popularity behind it's called somatic exercises, which is working a lot within the hips, but mine was not stored in the hips. Mine was stored in the shoulders. And you could tell because if you guys seen me like 6 months ago, where was all my weight? All my weight was on my neck and my shoulders. I was huge up here because I was carrying all that trauma because I was physically protecting my heart and trying to keep people off of me. So some of this may just be, needing to get the physical to transmute anything that you're carrying, which I'm opening up the book and I get to the sexuality card. Okay. So there could be something there to be cleared, but we're trying to go to number 6, leisure and sport. Choosing this card suggests that you may benefit from reviewing how you spend your free time. Do you participate in activities and do you encourage others to join in? Do you share equipment and possessions and treat them with respect and care? Do you exercise your physical body in an optimum way? The high priest Zeus set up the original Olympic Games during the golden era of Atlantis. Everyone took part for enjoyment and fitness and to practice excellence and cooperation. Ask Zeus to oversee the way you enjoy activities or sport in your leisure time, for this will become increasingly important as we move towards the golden future. And I think it's because we need to be releasing the trauma and the density. Mariel, you're a massage therapist. Oh, you are? So And yeah, maybe just even getting massage. Thai massage is amazing for the release you're referring to. Oh, I have never had Thai massage, so I'm going to actually look into that. I've got some couples massages booked next weekend for my husband's birthday, but I also knew it. I have a massage therapist in North Ogden, Nicole, who's super affordable at the North Ogden Chiropractic. She speaks very little English. She's a full-on shaman from Mexico. And her name's Gabriella, which Gabriel is the archangel of healing. So I don't think that's a coincidence. Yeah, this is confirming all that. But again, don't look at it as like shame of like, I'm being lazy or I need to exercise or whatever. This is like moving the body to move the density. It's going to help you with your ascension. Okay. So if appropriate, ask Zeus to open new doors to leisure pursuits for you. Your guidance is to do some physical exercise or join in another social activity and enjoy yourself. And come to the gym with me anytime. The gym I go to, everybody just sneaks everybody in. So, okay, those are your messages. And message me when I can come get my candy. Okay, next we're going to go with Mariel. And then we'll go with Amber. Mariel, did you have one of the decks that for sure is like calling you? Of course, I'll do the pendulum, but I want you to trust your intuition first. Loves yous. How's Aubrey been doing? I've been thinking about her lately too. Pendulum. Okay. All right. For Mariel. Oh, wait, let me see. Okay. For Mariel. Are there messages in the alchemy deck for Mariel? Yes. Are there messages in the Rose Oracle for Mariel? No. Are there messages? I love you too. Are there messages for Mariel in the golden? Yes. I didn't get it out. Yes, there are. Blues. I didn't realize that. This is very blue. And like Amber was saying, I do think that the blue avians have a presence here for sure. And maybe the 7, maybe the consciousness of 7, the 7th density. And at the time, I thought it was a 7th dimension, but I don't think it is. I think it's the 7th density. Maybe that's the blue avians. You're both sick? No, but that happens a lot in spring too, where we just need to clear all the mucus and cleanse, Okay, messages for Mariel. Creativity. So very, very much 5th fifth house. Do you know if you have any fifth house placements, Mariel? Because that's kind of the cool thing. It doesn't matter in Western tropical astrology or true sidereal. Your houses stay the same because I use Placidus. So I wonder if you have any fifth house placements. I wonder if you have Aries or Pisces in the fifth house. But it's creativity. And I don't know how. Things just got dark. Saturn in the fifth. Oh, we had Saturn in the reading. We had Saturn. Saturn in what? So what zodiac rules your fifth house? For Mariel. Messages for Mariel. Well, Saturn in the fifth would be tough because I feel like that would Sagittarius. Okay. If it's Sagittarius, then Mariel, you may end up having Ophiuchus because most Sagittarian placements end up moving back to Ophiuchus, which is that hidden energy. So you may have Saturn and Ophiuchus. You'll have to do a true sidereal reading sometime because Ophiuchus placements are very powerful. Ophiuchus is kind of similar to, it's kind of a hybrid between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the religion and the spirituality, and Scorpio is the taboo and the occult and what's been hidden. And Ophiuchus is what they knocked out, which is at the galactic center, the womb of the universe. Okay. So, and it used to be a woman that was the serpent bearer. Then they changed it to a man, and it's Chiron is the planet of Ophiuchus, which was a heavy influence here today too in the eclipse, right? Sun and Ophiuchus, yeah. Really? Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have to check. I'm happy to run. Send me your birth information. I'll run the chart for you for free, but I won't interpret it. Okay. And your alchemy card is chaos, which is definitely like black. But again, black is not bad. Darkness isn't bad. It's the yin, the yang, right? You may be a shadow worker. There's always so much talk about light workers. There's also shadow workers. And it's time for the shadow workers to come out of hiding. And somebody with Saturn in Ophiuchus would be a shadow worker. I'm almost sometimes wondering, because I found out that my Mercury and my Neptune are in Ophiuchus in the 8th house. So I've always called myself a light worker, but I'm wondering if I'm a shadow worker. Amber, you're still in complete shock of your sidereal. Thanks to an unrest. Wait, did I run your sidereal chart, Amber? Oh, did you come in from what's her name? My new friend that I met on TikTok, Athena. Were you one of Athena's friends? Okay, but back to Mariel. Okay, so you've got chaos, which that's why I don't recommend most people work with eclipse energy because it is a chaotic energy, but some people are powerful enough to work with the chaos energy. Okay, and look at that moon even kind of could look like an eclipse, right? Oh yeah, I love my friend Rochelle. We need to get ready. We need to get some more videos going up. But yeah, Rochelle's amazing. Okay, so did you get one of her charts off Ko-Fi? Did she run your chart for you? Okay, Mariel, let's go to chaos, which is Li. Okay, chaos. When an alchemist sits in their laboratory amidst the presence of a massa confusa, something miraculous is bound to occur. That's because this state is so powerful and so all-encompassing that it typically overwhelms the student to the point of despair. Such is the nature of chaos. It is the grand trickster, the topsy-turvy confusion that turns life on its head and spins a web not even the wisest mystic can untangle. Baffling, yes. Disorienting, yes. The most potent point in the alchemical experience. Wait, observe. Do nothing. Okay, so maybe it's saying we're not working with this chaos energy, but maybe we're sitting in it to observe it and get comfortable in it, right? So it could be awakening something there. Do nothing. It is destiny itself that spins the web. Clarity will emerge one strand at a time. Your only task is to breathe. Do not struggle. The three fates hold you in their sights as you free fall towards freedom. Yeah, shadow worker does feel good. And it's almost like reclaiming the word witch, right? We were shown that witches were bad and evil and scary and ugly, but witches are so powerful. And part of reclaiming the divine feminine is reclaiming the shadow and the darkness. And the dark is the yin. On the yin and the yang is the white part and the yin is the darkness. And back to the Ophiuchus being at the galactic center, the galactic center is where there's no stars, so it is the darkness. The womb is dark. This is why I say when you want to actually manifest, instead of working with a white candle, work with black. Anything that is in the light already exists. If it's in the darkness, that's all potentiality. That's everything that doesn't exist that could exist, which is anything that you could create. That's the darkness. We need to reclaim the darkness. And people understanding the difference between a shadow and a light work. And obviously, again, bringing them together to work with both, right? Yeah. And reclaiming our and women, female energy can be chaotic. Think about our hormones, think about our moods, hysteria, and all the things that we've been labeled with. That's chaotic, and that's okay. It's fucking powerful, right? A tornado, a windstorm, whatever, all of the elements, that chaos is powerful. Ooh, I love that. I love that. I wish I got that. I have to pull myself a card. I've had this deck for at least a year, maybe 2 years, never touched it once. Never touched it once. And then we got to the creativity in the 5th house. Okay. So pulling back in that Saturn. And I feel like, again, that kind of comes into reclaiming the Saturn energy from being that great malefic. I feel like it was it's again, the black sun. So do a little work into the black, do a little deep dive, a little rabbit hole into the black sun. I do totally remember you coming to my energy clearing class, right? That's how you came to me. And that was a powerful ass class. Gosh, that's been probably 5 years. I'll have to look. I'll shit if it was 2017. I don't think it was, though. I feel like it could have been like 2018, 2019, though. So, okay. And then the creativity card is express your soul energy, which is this shadow worker, being able to express who that fully is, understanding that that's what you're here to do. You're a freaking chaos witch, girl. 7, creativity. And Saturn, people are afraid of Saturn, so that makes sense for a shadow worker. Express your soul energy. This card is a reminder that creativity of all kinds opens and expands your right brain. Right side is usually more the masculine, but still, let's see where this goes. Unless, are you right-handed or left-handed? Oh, my energy just got really high with that. My heart is like beating. There's somebody spam on my Facebook. Hold on, let me check it. Because this is streaming live on my Facebook. And I can tell there's somebody in there saying, your ancestors. Come talk to your ancestors. I don't see it. I'm just going to ignore it for now. Go away. It's some Nigerian prince. Gosh, shut up. Right-handed, but both. Massage. Oh, that makes sense. Massage. And working in massage, you're drudging up people's darkness for sure. So you got to be able to transmute that. Yes. Okay. So this card is a reminder that creativity of all kinds opens and expands your right brain, and this enables you to access the highest spiritual frequencies. This is an invitation to connect with Lord Paul, The Venetian, the great master who is bringing freedom of expression forward for our golden future. He will help you develop who you truly are. So you can look into who Lord Paul is. Paul the Venetian may touch you with glorious yellow to set your soul free to express your highest visions, or he may surround you in beautiful pink love to help you in your imaginative endeavors. Breathe in this color and give yourself the time and leisure to create something beautiful. Whether you are a beginner or already an artist or inventor, he will be encouraging you. Remember to honor and value whatever you produce, as well as the expressions of others. Creativity will bring you soul satisfaction and peace by developing your right brain. It will also help you prepare for the golden future. Okay. Spot on. Look into your Saturn. Hi, Kevin. I'm going to go with Amber next, but yeah, sure. I'll grab you after Amber. That was amazing, Mira. I'm excited that you're in the group. Okay, and Amber, I know you told me that you were fine with me doing the pendulum. You're welcome. I love that you chose the black heart. Yes, girl. Reclaiming that shadow, reclaiming that chaos. Pendulum. Clearing a little bit. Amber, my love, are you still here? Okay, are there messages for Amber in the alchemy deck today? Messages for Amber in the alchemy deck? No, not in the alchemy deck. Are there messages for Amber in the golden age? Yes. Are there messages for Amber in the rose? Yes. Okay. So Amber, we've got the golden age and the rose. Yeah, Kevin, I said I would grab you next. Make sure you've liked my page though, please. Energy in for energy out. Amber, messages for my new friend Amber. 20 robots, which that makes me think obviously like AI. And you had all that Aquarius energy, right? Didn't you say you had a lot of Aquarius energy? Messages for Amber. The wild rose. Yes, I love. So yeah, the robot makes me think definitely Aquarian. Oh, that's okay. No worries. AI, which I definitely see a lot of awakened people who badmouth AI. Here's what I think about it. And if you guys have followed me for a while, double Aquarius with Leo rising, Saturn Aquarius return on April 9th. Oh, yes. We got to do something for your Saturn return, girl. I could give you a hammer and you could build a house with it, or I could give you a hammer and you could kill somebody with it. It doesn't make the hammer inherently good or bad. That's how I feel about AI. AI is a tool. It could be used for the detriment, and it could also be used for our betterment, right? And so I definitely feel like we should be working with it. This says set yourself free with wisdom. Are you already working with AI, or are you conflicted, or have you been like wondering if it's something that you should be dabbling in? With all that Aquarius energy, I definitely feel like you should. What am I looking for? 20, which is 2 plus 0, 2. Two energy is usually about relationships, partnerships, union. Go away, Olmide. Nobody wants your messages from your scamming ass from Nigeria. Go away. Okay. The guidance with this is to set yourself free with wisdom. Archangel Jophiel, the great golden archangel of wisdom, is bringing forward the freedom for everyone to truly express themselves on a soul level. To enable this to happen, he is overseeing the clever use of robots, which will be programmed intelligently to help humans for the highest and wisest good. Bianca, hex him. I'm too busy right now. Choosing this card suggests that it is a time to consider the chores you currently feel obligated to do. Anything that feels like drudgery or boredom is draining your precious life force. Reflect on what you would do with the energy if you were free to use it as you wished. Let your imagination soar. Your guidance is to do one of two things. You may choose to change your attitude to these jobs so that you can carry them out with a joyful fifth density heart. Alternatively, visualize yourself using your energy to do what satisfies you and makes you happy. Then ask Archangel Jophiel to bring you your vision into reality. And one of those things could be using AI. Your partner and you guys disagree on AI law. It's a consistent topic of conversation, but you love this angle. Yeah, it's just a tool. It's a tool. And we, again, need to reclaim that. Just like, okay, tarot, astrology, and all those things that the religious Christian world made us think was bad and evil. That was only because they didn't want us to have access to these tools. They wanted us to be afraid of that. Just like what we just talked about with Mariel. They wanted us to be afraid of the darkness as the feminine. They want you to be afraid of this AI tool, so only they're using it. We cannot win in a war, a spiritual war, if we're not using the same tools. Okay? I'm not here to sell anybody. Everybody is going to have a different trust your intuition, but at least be open to that. Maybe it's not horrible. Is your partner more on the anti-AI part? Okay, then you got the wild rose. I hate this guidebook. It's hard to find things. Okay, the wild rose. I just need more light. Here it is. Found it. If you follow me on TikTok, you can get one of these for like $9 from my TikTok shop. Oh, that's bright. There we go. Here I am. If time isn't linear, then you can at least accept there's an aspect of you that is existing without AI. But no matter what, it's around and influencing as we influence it. LOL. Yes. He's a computer guy. Okay. No, for real. I get it. Again, I'm not here to shove it down your throat, but maybe it's just for you even to just look at it differently for your boyfriend. It doesn't mean that if you're not feeling in alignment with it, if it does not resonate with you, I want you to trust your own discernment above all else. But sometimes we just need to see things from a different angle, right? Okay, so the wild rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. And look at what a beautiful card that is. Now the light might be too bright. Shoot. There you go. Can you see that? Okay. This card comes as an invitation to do what would make you feel most free, to trust in the very thing that makes you stand out, to realize that you were never meant to fit in, especially not without that Aquarian energy, girl. To trust in the very thing that makes you stand out, to realize that you were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to grow in a perfect, cultivated way. You were never meant to bloom in unison with someone else. You were never meant to be captive or controlled. Nature is full of diversity. It's imperative to its survival, and it's imperative to yours. So be who you came here to be. Express what you came here to express. Sing the song that you came here to sing. Together, the wild ones will be the ones who will set us all free. And the Rose Transmission says, I free myself from what keeps me captured. So you can use that as an affirmation for this eclipse, okay? Sorry, let me say it again. I free myself from what keeps me captive. I allow the unique wildness within me to be free. Reminds you of the time sitting with grandmother Iowa. Oh my gosh. I started plant medicine last June. I've not sat with grandmother yet, but I was supposed to a month ago and it ended up not being available. And I just said, you know what? It obviously wasn't meant to be. I'm setting up a bufo ceremony next month for myself. Have you sat with frog medicine yet? And I'm sure will be coming shortly after, but I worked with some other plant medicines. Started dosing last June. Psilocybin changed my whole life. Changed my entire life. I did a lot of psychedelics in the 90s as a teenager. I'm Gen X. So I was like, oh, my third eye and my crown are already open. I don't need to do more of that. No, yes, I did. I've sat with combo, but yeah, I'm going to be doing bufo. Not doing, I know you're supposed to say it. Working with, sitting with. Okay. You are a wild, wild woman. So nature is, that makes sense that you would be, but it's okay, right? The yin, the yang, the yin, the yang, even if it's again, just to kind of take that little, I guess, rift away from you and your partner. All right, Kevin, I said you could go next. Is anybody else here that was not a subscriber that's been hanging out? Oh, B, of course I'm gotta go with B because she's a subscriber. Hello, my love. Okay, so what we've been doing, I've got the 3 decks that I intuitively selected, and I used my pendulum. Okay, I'll do Wisteria too. I take subscribers first, and Bianca's a subscriber, so she just bumped you, Kev. So Bianca, I'm going to use the pendulum and ask out of the 3 decks, and some people have gotten messages from all 3, and I think everybody's gotten at least messages from 2. Okay, for Bianca, are there messages in the alchemy deck for Bianca? Yes. Are there messages in the golden deck for Bianca? Yes. Are there messages in the rose oracle for Bianca? Yes. 3. Okay. For my beautiful Bianca. How did your lunar eclipse go with what we were talking about and what we had set up for you? How did that energy end up feeling for you? 222. So wait, right now it's 222 in the afternoon over there on the 5th. Is that right? Oh, girl, did you see that card flip up out of there? Healing is happening. Healing is happening. These cards are kind of ethereal. Let me try to turn this down a little bit. I just needed a little bit of light, but not. Wow. You bathed in the moonlight. Healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. So that's the first message. Okay. Then let's go with this. I think you've heard me talk about it, but do you get the Hay House subscription box, Bianca? This is like one of the first decks that Hay House has released lately that I've really just immediately connected with. And it came in the subscription box last month. It's so good. If you don't have it, I would recommend it. So from the Golden Age, finished your. So what do you do for your Muggle job? I don't even know. I've never asked. What do you do in the Matrix, my love? Besides be awesome and amazing. For Bianca. There we go. Intergalactic travel. Intergalactic travel. Regard the stars with wonder. So that kind of feels like maybe deepening your own astrology knowledge, your own astrology practice. Okay. Industrial cafe. What does the industrial part mean? It's like a cafe at like an industrial area. I feel like it's worth it. It's like $30 US and you get 3 decks. every 3 months. Okay, but yes, regard the stars with wonder. So this feels like deepening your astrology knowledge. Um, you'll have to go back and watch the playback from the beginning when we did the collective energy. It was pretty cool, and there was a lot of emphasis on the planet Saturn and the number 7. And we know that we're in the United States, where the Great American Eclipse started in August of 2017 and went this way, and then this eclipse that's coming through is coming back this way to create the X. It's going through in 2017 it went through 7 towns named Salem, and then this time it's going through 7 towns named Nineveh. It's pretty crazy with the Saturn. Oh, girl, you just got the lightning card. And somebody else just got this card. Who was it? Who got the lightning card? Mariah? Which, if you look at it, also looks like the Ouroboros. I always say the Aurora Borealis. That's the lights that come from the magnetosphere. The Ouroboros is like the universal. There is no end or no beginning, right? So lightning is asking for. You think I remember? I just read it. 13. Intergalactic travel. Healing is happening. Well, all 3 of these feel like maybe also there is some work to do on the quantum for healing, which may be some past life stuff. It may be, Reiki is a great tool for that. Anyone who works with Reiki and is familiar with the symbol Honshize Shinen, the Honshize Shinen is a time travel symbol. So you could literally open up a portal with the Honshize Shinen and then go back there, like astral travel or AK intergalactic travel, to do some healing. But let's look at the lightning card first. 13. Which the Latin word for lightning is lycosis. And the energy here is perfectionism, facade, and hesitation. Oh, yeah, it's all coming back to me now. The stage of lycosis is a complex topic in alchemy. On the one hand, it represents purification of the materials, and on the other hand, it's the phase in which the alchemist may mistake the work as complete. On the surface, everything seems perfect, pristine, well thought through, and quite complete. In actuality, the alchemist has been tricked by their own facade of perfectionism. Their work has hardly begun. So it's asking you to go deeper. You astral travel every night. I believe that you do with this energy. And it's saying that there's work to be done there. And as we finish out actual Pisces season, and again, this eclipse, because you missed it, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Chiron, and the North Node are all conjunct in Pisces. So this is asking for deep healing. And free will was one of the other messages that came up, is that you need to invoke the universal law of free will. So how you could do that is you could literally say out loud, I am choosing to go into the astral and go do the healing that needs to be done, that's asking to be cleared here. Okay, you're not broken, trust the process, it's safe to soften. So working with that eclipse in Pisces is the dream state. Pisces, and you've lived your life as a Pisces for 40 years, right? And now you're trying to maybe heal what needs to be healed in that Piscean energy, and then that's going to help you transition into yourself as an Aquarius, right? Because you transition to your higher octave as an Aquarius. Chiron and Virgo first house, gonna kick your ass. I've got Chiron in the first house too, girl, and it does kick out. It's a bitch. It's a real bitch. But it's powerful. We sign up for these difficult placements because growth is painful, right? But for Bianca, do you remember what house your Chiron's in? Let me look real quick. Bianca, let me find your chart. I'm opening up. Okay, Bianca, your Chiron is in the 12th house. It's literally on your ascendant. It's literally on your ascendant. And the ascendant is who we show the word. So basically 12th and first house at the same time. Hold on, let me hit share screen. Okay, so Bianca, do you see here? Your Chiron is right there on your ascendant, literally 9 degrees Aries. Aries is who am I? The rising sign is who am I? The 12th house is the house of hardships, and the first house is the house of self, and you've got it right there on the cusp. Okay. So, yes, it's difficult. It's not easy. Been having trouble detaching completely from that association so wholly with that's okay. Again, you don't have to give one up, but how can you allow yourself to shift from just that heavy, because Pisces is heavy, girl. Pisces is deep and disassociative. And how can you add that Aquarian energy in? Because you still do have your Mercury and you still do have your Venus and Pisces. So again, you keep it no matter what, you keep it, because the closer the planets are to Earth, the more they affect you. So you've got the way that you communicate is Pisces. You've got what you value is still very deep in Piscean. Okay. The only thing you have in is your sun and your south node. Oh, really? Wow. So you guys are little freaking quantum sisters here. And her, even though you're much, much younger, because Amber's just going through her Saturn return, so she's got to be 29 or 30. And you guys both have Chiron in the first house, and so do I. So we're all connected, right? Okay, but back to the lightning. So it's saying, you've done a lot of work. I mean, is the work ever done? No, we're never all the way done with the work. But this is asking you to kind of double down, Bianca. Okay, so where are we at? Tricked by their own facade of perfection, their work has hardly begun. Righteousness and fear are the great errors of leucosis. This card arrives to remind us to get our hands dirty. No one is separate from or above anyone else. Rather, every alchemist is a kid in a laboratory, tinkering away with the elements of their life. No more fretting over your next move, fearing how others will perceive you. It's time to crack open and become who you are. The world needs your true colors. And your true colors are you as a Pisces, but also you as an Aquarius. And remember, look at all this freaking Leo energy too. You've got your moon, your Mars, your Jupiter, and your North Node, and your Emium Coeli all in Leo, fourth house. So you're actually more Leo than you are Pisces or Aquarius, if you want to be honest. You got way more Leo energy. So maybe look into Leo, and maybe that resonates more with you, which is more about creativity and fun and inner child. And, that may be the heart. Leo rules the heart. So maybe it's your Leo self that wants to come through rather than the Aquarian. I'm not trying to shove Aquarius down your throat, right? And then that's part of the healing. Okay, let's go to that real quick. Healing is happening. HH. Which, how do they say it in United Kingdom? H. Or no, that's how you say it in, don't Australians say H? H. H. This guidebook is not my favorite. Healing is happening. Healing is happening every moment of every day. You're returning to your true state every moment of every day. Call in your support team of people who can hold you to that, who you can trust in the grace of your natural state. A true healer knows that they're not the one doing the healing. Rather, they're holding the vision of the return to wholeness, knowing that wholeness isn't a stagnant state. It's always about growth, right? Which is what you're doing. Oh, and that ties into the part that I said that I thought was about astrology. So that's okay. It makes sense. When you embrace all parts of life, from the ecstasy to the agony, The joy of the grief, the bloom to the fall, the bud to the rose hip, you'll realize that healing is always happening and life is on your side. No one is immune to the polarity of this human experience. The only way through is to embrace all parts of it, the light and the shadow, which that's been a big that was a big part of the collective read. And again, a solar eclipse, just like the lunar eclipse, the coming together of the solar and the lunar. So it is the yin and the yang, right? And as any healer or initiate knows, the only way to the light is to embrace the shadow within. So ask yourself why you're triggered by shifting from Pisces. Ask yourself what it is that you're so attached to Pisces that you're afraid to move into something else, right? Ask yourself. That's what shadow is. Shadow work is asking ourselves the hard questions. There's nothing wrong with feeling attached to something, but try to identify what it is. The shadow and the only way to the light is to embrace the shadow within. The shadow and sometimes the pain is a portal to your liberation. You're not broken, you're healing. Healing is happening. Trust in the timing of life. And the affirmation is healing is happening, healing is happening, healing is happening. Okay. Very, very nice. All right. Your first and second name literally means yin yang. No way. That's amazing. So your first name is the yin and that your middle name is the yang. Mariel, 2 questions. What's the website you said for Sidereal? Well, you have to have the program. The program is called Capricorn Prometheus, but there is a Facebook group with the person that I study with. The Facebook group is called Sidereal Revolution, and the teacher's name is Isaac Rodriguez. He also has a YouTube channel called, I think just look up Isaac Rodriguez or Ike Rodriguez. If you did it right, Saturn is in Scorpio on the 5th, and now you're a Pisces sun, moon, and a Gemini rising. And I said the Sophia codes, right? Yes, Sophia codes, which okay, so you can get it on Audible, and I do like listening to it, but the book literally says that you have to read it out loud. So I would recommend for sure getting the physical copy. And then I like to listen to it and then say it out loud, because the book has a bunch of activations where you literally are activating your DNA. Oh, really? Yeah. The Sophia code. This is actually my third time reading it. It's very powerful. Bianca means white or light, and Melanie means black or dark. Oh my God. That's nuts. I was always triggered by my middle name. My middle name is Joy, and I'm born 3 days after Christmas, and I've always hated Christmas, and I couldn't stand my middle name. And then through all the healing and stepping into my divine feminine, I'm like, I am joyous. I do embody joy. I'm like reclaiming that name. And then Rhiannon is a witch, a Welsh witch. You're welcome. Okay, Kevin, did you stick around or no? If Kevin's not here, Wisteria, my love. Joy to the world. Your name is White Victory of the People. Well, you are a white victory. Reclaim the word white, just like the yin and the yang, right? We want both. Okay, Wisteria, you're up. Okay. You're more than a black female. You are an amazing soul, right? No matter what. It does sound racist. Okay, Wisteria. Are there messages for Wisteria in the alchemy deck? Yes. Are there messages for Wisteria in the golden age? Yes. Are there messages for Wisteria in the rose deck? No. Okay. Oh, thank you. Well, part of it is my Wet n Wild highlighter. So it's a very cheap little stick highlighter. Definitely recommend. And then, you got to have a good light. Oh, Kevin. All right. Well, I just pulled for Wisteria, but we'll do next. Okay, Wisteria. Ooh, Wisteria, you got. So this was the card for the collective, which is the law, which is all about the 7 universal laws, the scales of justice. So were you here for that part, Wisteria, or not? Make sure you go back and watch this from the beginning, because there was a lot of messages here that are really, really powerful. It's 22. It's a master number. Act within common sense and responsibility, but this is much more than that. This is remembering that the main ones are. Do I still have it pulled up? The 7 universal laws are the universal law of natural law, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Okay, so those would be some good things for you to dive into, Wisteria. But let's get your alchemy card. Winter. Okay, which winter is always kind of, more about the darkness as well. So kind of like I was saying to Muriel, you may be a shadow worker as well. And the theme for everybody here has been embracing the light and the dark, the white, the black, the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, right? Not being afraid of one or the other. 10, 15, 16. I can't find. I should have paid attention to Roman numerals in school. 10. XVI. Would that be before double X? Would XV be before double X or after double X? Who knows their Roman numerals? I know it's 16, but that's 20. Okay, so it'd be before. There we go. 18. Here we go. Spring, summer, freaking autumn. I feel like they skipped the page in the book. I know. XX is 20. Oh, here. Where we go? The 4 seasons. Winter. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So winter. When are you born, Wisteria? Were you born in the winter? In alchemy, winter comes first. It is the beginning, the origin. As winter casts its blanket of stillness across the land, we naturally turn inward. The mind and the heart settle into Earth's darkest season. From the place of quiet, a single flame reconnects us to the mystery of our own existence and the miracle of the breath. Regardless of when this card appears, it indicates that we are suppressed in Mother Earth's pause. This is not the time for doing, going, or getting. The alchemist knows winter opens up the portal to the divine magic. Opens up the portal to divine magic is a foot under the surface. In the glimmering snow and sparkling ice, we see winter's water in crystalline form, each droplet a prism into the mystic realm. Don't get caught up in the gloom or isolation of the season. Rather, spin towards the sacred light. Spring will come in time. What month are you born in? Solace, the pause, the hermit. So you're being asked to be in the hermit mode, and you're being asked to not. So definitely for the eclipse, I would not be working with it. You're being asked to sit and be in more of the inactive state. November. Okay, so you're probably Western. You're a Western tropical Scorpio or Sagittarius. So you're not going to work with this eclipse per se, okay? But I do want you studying the 7 laws of nature. 22. And when this card comes up into the reading, it suggests that you look at a situation or relationship in your life with honesty and common sense. Be fair to all sides as you consider things from every angle and take responsibility for your own words and actions. Even more important, look at the thoughts and emotions you hold. For these have helped to attract or create this situation or relationship. If you need assistance to take wise decision, ask Pallas Athena, who was a high priestess in Atlantis and is known as the goddess of truth, to guide you. She understands with compassion all of your underlying motives. She also sees through illusion and will impress truth and integrity into you so that you can make choices that are right and just. She will enable your light to shine brightly. Okay. So there's probably at least one relationship in your life that's very out of balance. And maybe studying those universal laws is going to help you remember that balance is like literally the most important thing. And Mercury retrograde in general is not generally, sorry, I'm just texting my husband. It's not generally a time for action anyway. It's a time for planning. Okay. So you got to look at the relationships and who's taking advantage, and kind of back to Bianca, not Bianca Mystic B, but other Bianca. Look at the boundaries that you might need to put up. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome. I love you. Okay, Kevin, thank you for waiting. Kevin, would you like me to use the pendulum to see what decks have a message for you, or did you have a deck that was calling you? Are you out of here, Bianca? Is that what that okay is? To you too. Are you in the path of totality where you live, Wisteria? Are you going to be able to see it? Okay, I'm going to do Kevin and then that's it. Oh, yes. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. An eclipse time, if you're being guided to work on boundaries and you don't, it's going to come up again next time for sure. Okay, good night, honeys. I know. I'm excited to work with you. Hi, Kevin. Okay, so I've been using the pendulum to decide where the messages are. Or is that okay? Or did you have a deck that was definitely calling you that you want to make sure that I use? Oh, you're good. Like what? You're going to be taking care of her full time? Is that what you mean, Wisteria? Okay. Are there messages for Kevin in the alchemy deck? Yes. A little hesitant, but yes. Are there messages for Kevin in the golden age? No. You're the first one that hasn't had a message here, which is okay, right? That's why we use the pendulum. Are there messages for Kevin in the rose deck? No. Okay, so there might be 2 messages. I'll see what comes out in the alchemy, because you are just working with alchemy, which is not just, because alchemy is literally the most powerful, right? It's like, it is the original magic. For our new friend, Kevin. Okay, take a breath, Kevin. Disillusion came out, but I feel like we're going to do 2 messages here for Kevin. Taking a deep cleansing breath, Kevin, letting the universe deliver the messages that need to be delivered to you at this time for Kevin. What needs to be dissolved? Because you've got disillusion and the Aurora Borealis. Or, I keep saying it wrong. The Ouroboros, right? The Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its tail. It's the cycle, the never-ending cycle of life. You watch her while her mom works and she's about to go back to school full time and get her bachelor's. Well, yeah, that's tough. I mean, you're a good mom, you're a good grandma. It's going to be tough for a while, but I don't know. I'm not saying that's not it, but I would dig a little bit deeper. So you got disillusion and the Ouroboros. Okay. So let's start with this disillusion. It's time for something to dissolve. LXV, which is past it. Okay, the Ouroboros. I always say Aurora Borealis, which is not it. Hold on, my dogs. The Great Serpent. The Ouroboros is an all-encompassing glyph of the alchemical process. The hungry snake bends itself around you in a gesture of protection and guardianship, giving you the space and safety to participate in the work. Anything and everything can be offered into its mouth for transformation, good, bad, blasphemous, or precious. The materials of our life transmute into gems. Along the great serpent's spine, along with your woes, the Ouroboros engulfs every pair of opposites. What is masculine becomes feminine. What is sky becomes earth. What is past becomes future. When this card appears, you have entered the quantum realm. It's Guantam, the quantum realm. I'm not sure what that is. What is the quantum realm? Not the quantum. What is the quantum realm in alchemy? It keeps wanting to say quantum. Oh, is that a Q? No, G. Yeah, it is quantum. It's just that their fancy little lettering made it look like a G. Okay, so the quantum realm. Everything is possible. No one knows the limits of the Ouroboros. Just when you fell into thinking that your life was straightening out, the snake takes you once again into its gaping mouth for an entirely new trajectory. So the Ouroboros is also a symbol of death and rebirth, and again, that endless cycle. The tail eater, the guardian, the quantum realm. So definitely some big shifts happening. Oh, actually, I was going to start with the disillusion, but I started with this, and I don't believe in coincidences. Okay. You also want to watch out for snake symbolism and see the snake is also symbolic of the Kundalini. So starting to work with that energy, maybe Kundalini yoga or any type of yoga or breath work to get the Kundalini to come up. Okay. How old are you? Are you in any big astrological transits like Amber, who's in her Saturn return? You have your Saturn return at 2930. You look young in your picture, so I'm wondering how old you are. LX 31. Okay, so you just went through your Saturn return. LXV. Hey. Sorry, my husband just called him. These Roman numerals are hard, man. LX Ivy. Here we go. LXV, disillusion. I'm trying to hold it so you can see it. You see, that looks like a singing bowl. That looks like a Like if you go to a sound bath and they have the crystal bowls. Surrender, dissolving, formlessness. Soluto is great alchemical operation of water. It represents the form becoming formless, that which is solid dissolving into liquid. In many alchemical texts, it is the first operation and summarizes the heart of alchemy, as in the axiom solve e coagula, dissolve to unite. For our purposes, it is important to know Soluto involves a dissolving of definitions, identities, and labels. The strongholds of the ego drown in the emotional realm of water. We dive back into the beginning, the prima materia. The operation is humbling and disorienting and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Who we are now The operation is humbling and disorienting and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Oh, it says, who are we now? Who are we now? Question mark. So that also makes sense of just going through your Saturn return. That's really when you become an adult. You think you're going to be an adult at 18. Then you think you're going to be an adult at 21. 30 at the Saturn return. That's really where you're like, oh shit. Like I'm out here on my own. Who am I? What am I here to do? That type of thing. Okay. And maybe there are some other things with identity that came up during that time too, right? But it's asking you to dissolve that ego, dissolve who you thought you were, working more on the spirit, allowing that kundalini to come up, activate those chakras. Okay. That's okay, because sometimes you need to go into the hermit mode and you need to be with yourself and your thoughts and observe, right? Like it's not always a time to be in other people's energy, especially when you're here transmuting that old self and becoming your new self. You want to be protected from outside energy as much as possible so that you know you're not being influenced by anybody but your true self. Okay, your most authentic self. Who are we now? How will others describe us? When these questions are afoot, the alchemical magic of Soluto is underway. By surrendering to the waves, we unite with the primordial essence and return to our deepest self. And the deepest self is the quietest, most vulnerable, that we don't show to just anybody. Okay. Like, in fact, we don't normally even want to show it or see it ourselves. So it is a time to go within, to be rebirthed. And I think that you've probably been in that because this card came first. And now it's just kind of finishing that dissolving the old self. And you know what? It's probably, I don't believe in coincidence ever. It's not a coincidence that you're here tonight. You might want to look into true sidereal astrology. So whatever you thought you were as a sun sign, when somebody asks you what your sign was, they're talking about where was the sun when you were born. But the Western tropical system does not go on actual planetary placements. It goes on a seasonal system. And a lot of the people that are attracted to me and my channel are here figuring out who they really are. For instance, I was told I was a Capricorn. Really, I'm a Sagittarius. So maybe part of that rebirth for you is moving from one identity in the Western tropical system and learning really what it is. If you tell me your birthday, I can tell you. But you could look into that. I'm not saying that is what it is, but I don't believe in coincidences. So it most likely is. And I just want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. This is going to be the last. This is it. Please make sure you give a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. Make sure you like my Facebook page. Follow me there. Rereads Tarot. And yeah, and wait for Kevin's answer. And then I'm going to sign off. It's 10 o'clock at night. And I started at 7. So it's at 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 3 hours. I'm giving you time to type. Does anybody have any last questions before we get off? Love, 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 love you. Thank you, honeys. What cute little emojis did you give? Oh, it's the hug emoji. I've never used the hug emoji. That emoji. That's adorable. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for being here, everybody. stay grounded. These energies are crazy, but don't go into fear. Stay in your power, stay in your sovereignty. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.